Welcome in everybody to episode 246. We're going to talk about ordering a new Ford vehicle. Know before you go is how I caption this. So we're going to talk about all the things you need to know about ordering, how the process works and everything. So you don't have to rely on the dealer necessarily. So we're going to give you all the ins and outs of that and tell you things probably a lot of dealers don't know. So I'm your host, Tim Bartz.
I'm your co-host, Sarah Davis.
Welcome in, and if you are new to our YouTube channel, we are streaming this as a podcast as well. But if you are watching this for the first time live with us on YouTube or watch recording, don't forget to make sure you subscribe to our channel. So hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos. We do videos almost every single day. Also, we do have membership available. Hit that join. You can learn a little more about different tiers. Now, the lowest tier will get you access to pretty much anything. The upper tiers will. The difference is that you're more supporting the channel if you go with any of the upper tiers at that point. There's a lot of people that are already on those tiers that have been for a while. Now, if you also want to kind of follow along, we do some other stuff and other content on our Patreon. So YouTube kind of did some weird things with the algorithm and everything. So now we do most of our content over on Patreon. So you can catch, we do a member live stream on here that does get you access on Friday to that on any of the tiers you subscribe to on YouTube. But we also throw the recording onto our Patreon. We also do a daily video on Patreon, as well as a coffee time if you have that tier above. And then we do a lot walk as well that you see only on Patreon. So check that out if you want to. And yeah, so there you go. See what else is going on. Oh, you know what? I now have an Amazon storefront.
Yes.
I added a couple of idea lists, things that I put on the Bronco and some RV stuff that I've gotten for the camper, and a list there. I got another list going. So check that out. It's I think it's like amazon.com/store/Ford video guy. So if you want to check that out, and then of course anything you purchase through that, when you click through the store and everything, I do get a little kickback for anything you purchase. So it's, if you're going to get it from Amazon anyway and save some money, you still get the same prices. And then in the old Ford video guy gets a little compensation. So kind of cool. So started that up mainly because I was doing a lot of these videos for the different partners that send us floor liners and different things like that. And a lot of them are sending people right over to Amazon because it's the cheapest price out there for them. But I wasn't seeing anything in return on any of that. So there you go. So we started a storefront. So, and I'll throw some other things on there. So if I see something fun that I like on Instagram, I'll start posting on like out there on Threads probably and Facebook and such. If I see a good deal or something that I think is a cool product, I'll be throwing that in my social media. So if you're looking for that, if you want to see some of that stuff, but in videos as well, when I link things, I'll start linking them to that storefront, and my link tree has it as well on there. So anyway, so something that I did this weekend. What did you do this weekend?
We went to the Dino Park.
Yes,
for Jaden's
Saturday.
Day.
Yep.
Our pool needed to be drained. My 4-year-old likes to play with the chlorine, which is not okay, so we have to remove it. Last time they swam in it, over a week ago, I had taken the chlorine out and forgot to put it back in. So algae grew. So it was either shock it and spend 3 days not swimming in it. And we wanted to swim all day Sunday. So the more feasible thought for us was to drain it. So we drained the entire pool.
Which it is a kid's pool.
It's 2 feet deep, 8 foot across.
So it's one that's you put on your driveway.
Yeah.
In case people thought that Sarah has this concrete in-ground big swimming pool in her yard.
2 feet deep, 8 feet across. Barely fits me.
But it's perfect for a couple kiddos to get in there, splash around.
It has a sunshade on it. And we figured out that we can take one of those umbrella bug nets for like when you're sitting outside underneath an umbrella around your patio table. It drapes over top and bugs can't get in. So we put one of those over top and we basically have zero maintenance. Chlorine tablet, pool filter,
keeps all the leaves and everything off of it.
And bugs don't get to the kids while they're swimming.
Yeah.
So
pretty
kids are safe in there. Kids can't get into it when they aren't supposed to because it's zipped up. So it's all around it's a good setup. But we had to drain it. I had to scrub it. Got to talk to Jenna for a minute. And then I'm working on the Rebel Rally series I'm doing.
I almost got in an accident yesterday.
Yes.
I posted that on Instagram if you want to see it. Wolfbox dash cam, I'm telling you, it records everything. And yeah, somebody, I was in their blind. I was in the right lane actually. They were in the left lane on this here in town, and I was kind of in there. I kind of came up, and then I was kind of in their blind spot. Well, there's a little hump, down there after the light, right before the dealership, and people go over that, and then that's when they start coming over because it goes to one lane. And I was there and actually was passing them, and then they sped up a little bit. So then I ended up being in their blind spot, and they didn't see me, and they just started coming right over.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm like, okay, blind spot monitoring system is a great thing. It should be on every vehicle, and it was not on this person's vehicle. So anyway, if you want to go check out that footage, you can see it. But anyway, but yeah, that's other than that. So we got. So on to this week. We'll be doing some things. We did schedule this week. Big week for scheduling. If you have an order placed, this is the week you've been waiting for, because scheduling is going to happen. Retail scheduling only this week for about every model. Balance out for F-150 is coming this month. So last chances to get those F-150 scheduled, I think, is the week of August 6th or something. It's the last week. So they're going to be scheduled this week, next week, the week after that. And I think that might be about it for 26 model year. So you want to make sure you have that order in and take note of that. A lot of other ones are up and running. Did a video yesterday on Maverick. Maverick and Bronco Sport order banks will open up August 11th. So that's coming up, but that doesn't mean 26 is done. So there, this month as well as next month will be balance out scheduling for those October build dates. So they're going to produce Bronco Sports and Mavericks at Hermosillo through the end of October. October 30th is the last day, and then November 2nd will be the startup for 27 model year. So anyway, I did a video yesterday kind of talking about that and talking about what maybe, what do I know nothing, to be honest. I'm just putting that out there. I don't have any information on anything. New brand manager, so he didn't really know who I am. And so I know nothing, to be honest, is what's coming up. It should be just a continuation. It's not a new redesign year, third year after a refresh. So this will be just continuation from last year, maybe some different colors. So maybe a new color, maybe some colors discontinued. But otherwise, I mean, we might see some packaging changes or maybe some options that might go away. We've been seeing that. I don't know why, but it seems like that first year that they come out, man, they did it right. And then after that, they're like, oh, let's cut some things out so we don't have a price increase. Well, so what they're doing is they're decontenting to keep the price the same and saying their prices didn't go up. But really what they did is they took options off or features off. That's what I found out with the Expedition. My 25 Expedition, it's got more equipment for a base platinum than you can get last year or this year. And I'm sitting there going, it's crazy. So I'm just glad that we got that first year. So sometimes you're better off getting that first year of some major changes and some new features and everything, because you get them before they decide they're not going to have them available, right? So let's see. Yeah, so that's some of those changes to that. So watch that video if you want on scheduling. Went live earlier.
We skipped over the membership.
Yeah, I wasn't actually going to go into that because I'm going to really cover scheduling, but
okay.
I just mentioned those things. But yeah, we need to talk about members. I'm letting you go over there and tag everybody. You ready?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, well let's give member shout outs. Another thing you get when you are on when you join the membership on YouTube is member shout outs.
If you haven't dropped the hey, how's it going, go ahead and drop it in there so I don't miss you.
Let us know you're there.
All right, we have a new member, 04244. Welcome.
All right,
He
thanks.
already has a member in there, I believe. We also have JCS Custom Archery, 8247.
Cool. I used to be in the archery.
Yeah, same. It was my once-a-year skill. I could hit the center of the target every single time, but I only needed the skill for camp.
That's what the recurve, well, not kind
or
of
in high school, they did an archery, like a week of archery. I was the first one to hit a balloon. Even the guys were just like, are you kidding? None of them had hit one.
I usually needed like a round, of like hit a couple with the bow, and then I'm like, okay, now I'm dialed in. I know where I need to go, and then I can go from there.
Yeah. All right, we have Alan, who's been a member for 55 months.
Wow.
Woo-hoo. He said he's starting his prep to head on down. We have McArthur. Hello all, I'm back from vacation in DC.
Wonder if he went and saw the Ford stuff down there at the
He said he might,
station.
So I'm eager to see if he did. We have our wonderful moderator, Ridgeview. He helps welcome everyone in. He's also gearing up to come down.
Yep, he was talking about when he was hoping to be
He's
here.
hoping to be here Tuesday night to join us.
Yeah.
For our live stream. All right, we have Steve Granger. I'm here for the party. Blue Feather. This will be my last live stream without this will be my first live stream without the membership icon. I hope you and everyone else is doing well. It's a gorgeous day in Southern California, but he actually has access to the member stuff.
So I don't think people realize is that once you've made a payment, that then you basically get the access for the next 30 days. So maybe he didn't realize that. Maybe he made his last payment.
It says 0 currently.
Oh, okay.
So maybe this is his last.
Might be his last live stream as a member. I don't know. Still showed as a member though.
Yeah. All right, we have Quibido. Good evening, friends. He's also ready to head up.
But Brian's in here. He's going to be honorary member anyway. We're going to still give you a shout out.
Oh yeah. We have Alan. He's actually headed up starting on Friday.
Yeah, I think they make some stops on the way and see some cool things.
Let's see. We have.
I'm not like Ridgeview. I can't drive for 24 hours.
Yeah. If you have a question, go ahead and drop it in there, but tag @McArthur. I'll pull it aside and ask it when we're ready for it.
We won't take too long. We'll get a couple things that we need to talk about. Some recalls, actually quite a few recalls, and then we'll get into the topic here. So just a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, so Hattie did go see the Ford display. He didn't get to see Jenna.
Cool.
So,
yeah.
All right, we have Mike 52G. Hello from Northeast Pennsylvania. Any word on weather for the Maverick meetup?
I don't know. We're gonna start probably get some of the weather
forecast.
Yeah, still a few days out for that, right?
Yeah, but even if we have the forecast ahead of time, there's no guarantee that that's going to be the weather. It can change literally an hour before.
Yeah, there was one day all of a sudden it just started raining. Like, what? What do you mean rain? So it's just like, boop.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have. Well, right. There is a 15-day forecast.
Oh, we got Bronco Rob here. I'm leaning forward.
It is, well, according to this. Oh, no ads. Thank you. Friday the 24th, it says 90 degrees, partly cloudy, and Saturday 92.
Looks like Thursday's going to be nice.
Thursday
parade downtown.
Thursday's 88, and then overnights like in the 60s, upper 60s. So there you go. Doesn't look like there's rain in the forecast
90s.
yet. No rain in the forecast yet.
We have a nice large lake, so we get a lot of rain from over there occasionally. All right, we have S. Young, half listening, half watching the All-Star game. We have Roy Pass. Let's see. Yeah, last year there were thunderstorms at night and nice, gorgeous, misty fields to drive through as we were going through our drive. And that is everyone I had.
All
if
right.
I didn't shout you out, I'm sorry I didn't catch you. We do have Allie.
Yay.
And Laura.
All right. Whoa.
Our two dealer ladies.
Hopefully I'm on my game here and I don't mess up.
Oh. Laura's coming in. About recall information.
We have one of 4,500 assistance dropped.
Oh, Doug.
I have some recall information, but I don't know if any of them's on Bronco Sport.
So we will hold that and see.
So I a lot of times how I usually do recalls is if it pops up into FMC dealer as a recall, whether it be an advance notice or regular recall, an update to the recall, that's when I cover it. So if I've already covered it in the past, then I won't necessarily be able to talk about it because I cover so many. I don't remember all the recall numbers, but I can usually search them because I do save them all. I don't know why, but I've been doing that. So I just save them in my Google Drive. So I usually can search for the recall number and see if, oh yeah, there it is. In fact, there was one that came up. I don't know if you remember, but on service, they had Ranger came in a used ones or used one or something. And supposedly it was some recall that was out and they didn't know anything about it. So I Googled it. I said, oh yeah, it's that one. And I went off and rattled, here's what you need to do. And they're like, thanks. Because I couldn't find it. So anyway, all right. So yeah, there's that, but yeah, we'll cover all that just a little bit. But yeah, any other news for us? So
Doug's here.
Doug's here. So we are, couple events that we have coming up. Of course, our event coming up 24th and 25th here ought to be a lot of fun. I got some awards, got some prizes to give away, some Maverick accessories and such. Gonna be a good time. Supercell Colorado. You're gonna go to Colorado that weekend before to celebrate your birthday.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna come back through, hopefully seeing Wayne's collection on Tuesday, and then head back with family, right? And then Jeff and I are going to go out Tuesday. I don't know if we're going to go to see the collection or not, but we're going to hopefully be in Buena Vista do a live stream Tuesday night there at the rodeo grounds. It's kind of the hope. Cross our fingers, see if that works out. Typically we don't go up there until Tuesday evening or Wednesday. So this will be the first time I've gone to Supercell and actually been able to enjoy all the days because Barb's not coming this time because she's not able to. She's going to be going to Kansas City instead. And so let's just go up Tuesday then, since she's not going anyway. So we're going to do that. And so that'll be fun. That event coming up. And then in October, Rebel Rally.
Yes.
So we're going to go to Rebel Rally and cover the tech inspection. We're going to get media passes that cover the
starting line. So we'll be able to see start to finish. They start tech inspection 8 a.m. on Wednesday morning. So we're going to see start to finish.
That'll be easy for us. That'll be like 9 a.m. here.
Right. We'll get to see that. And then we're going to go the next morning. They will have a ceremony for the starting line. Now, what they're doing, though, is because they have to plot their first coordinates before they can take off and head out. And granted, that first day is always a test day.
Prologue of what they call it.
It's a prologue. So it's not your official, you're not going to be, those points aren't counting towards your final score. Those are counting towards your starting position on the very first day of competition.
Day one, yeah.
It gives everyone kind of the chance to figure out, especially the rookies, what's Rebel, how is this going to go, kind of give them a feel of how it's going to move. And then it gives those non-rookies a chance to try and get the first starting position and try and get a leg up on each other. But before they can head out on the prologue, they have to map their coordinates and do what they need there. So I was informed today that they will have a session where it's basically kind of like a mini Rebel U, where they'll go over Rebel Rally, plotting points, doing the navigation stuff, and going over things for family members, partners, and media. So
basically letting them know what your friends, colleagues, family members are going to be doing for the next 10 days.
Yep.
Cool.
So it's pretty cool. We're going to get to go do that. If you want to go to the finish line is out in the
Imperial Dunes,
and it's open to the public. Yep. So if you want to go cheer on some wonderful ladies as they're coming in, you can go do that this year. But we will go and we're going to have some fun.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be at the finish line this year. We know that we were there last year. We know what the atmosphere is like. It's really a celebration with family. They haven't seen each other for sometimes some of them 2 weeks. Yeah. And so it's more of a celebration for that. A lot of tears, a lot of happiness and everything, but I don't know. Yeah.
I think in the past, family members haven't been there. So it's been more about getting things churned in, making sure that they're breaking down for camp for the night, and then they can talk to media. But now that they've opened it up to the public, their family members are coming, so it's a little bit more of like a private moment feeling.
Yeah, we felt really awkward. I felt really awkward last year because I was like, the first thing isn't talking to us and to media. It's talking to their family.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's like you don't want to intrude on that either. So it's like it's very weird. So I think this year we'll do the beginning, and I think that'll be a good thing, and that'll be fun. We'll check out the 4 teams, and what I think we'll be able to do is follow one of the teams through tech inspection. So we had one team that's already told you that we could follow along with them to see what a tech inspection is like. So that might be kind of fun to see what all, because I think it'll be a surprise for a lot of people to see what all they don't have access to that's in your vehicles that you guys get access to every day.
Yeah. What they're checking for, what they're locking down, how they have to go through everything, and what all is necessary to be out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyway, that'll be fun. Yeah. So it's kind of, and then I plan to go to SEMA this year, and that's some of the events coming up for us. So
my all women driven channel is going to be active again. So I think I had announced it.
Like season 2 coming up.
This is season 2. I've kind of gone away from women in automotive, how they got there, just because it's hard for like women in Ford or some of those companies. If they haven't been coached on media, they can't talk to me. So we're going to go into automotive racing. Or automotive sports.
All women driven.
So it's going to be more focused on automotive sports, the racing season, rallies, things like that, and just diving more deep into that world.
Yep.
And so then I'll have seasons during the racing seasons. So I think next year my goal is to focus on Baja.
Well, then also you can if we get able to go to the racing open event again, right? That'll be big. That's where you can maybe kick it off too.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. All right. Sounds good. Got some big things planned coming up. Unfortunately, we will not be able to go to Allie's event like we did last year. That was a lot of fun, but it's August. Kids are getting back. Our event closing up. Yeah. I'd like to go to Woodward too, but anyway, I don't know.
August is busy. Beginning of the school year.
Yeah.
It's hard to get into the routine, let alone get into the routine while one parent is gone.
Yeah. So anyway, all right, let's get into the news here and then go through and keep moving along. All right, there's only one bit of dealer news in here, and it's actually some things that we've actually been covering several times with some dealer news, with some order guide updates. We've noticed some things on the order guide that have been reflected and have changed on the connected voice and enhanced recognition wording, and we noticed that. We actually was able to reach out to someone and get some of these answers, but now Ford actually is letting dealers know, after we'd already let most of you guys know about this. But it does say in here, review this communication regarding the deactivation of connected voice/enhanced voice recognition feature effective June 1st of 2026. So there are some changes, some things. It says in here, effective June 1st, 2026, Ford terminated the license for connected voice enhanced voice recognition, EVR, feature globally. This applies to all 26 model year and newer vehicles produced after June 1st, 2026. This will be implemented as a simultaneous running change across all 4 vehicle programs. The removal affects less than 3% of total voice command volume. Says customers will still have access to connected assistance via Alexa built-in and Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, as well as voice control over local vehicle controls such as radio, climate, and Bluetooth voice calling. So they actually kind of tell you what all is what you still have. So it says Ford Assistant currently operates using 2-tier architecture, an embedded layer offline and a connected layer cloud-based. As the market shifts towards advanced AI and phone projection provides similar capabilities, Ford is streamlining this service by removing the third-party connected license. The removal of the connected layer affects less than 3%, as we mentioned earlier. All right. It says, so what is not changing, right? And what's being preserved functionality is what they said. Voice controls, climate adjustments, and AM, FM radio. So you can make the changes. Like you can tell it's like change climate to whatever this, and it'll change the climate control. So like on your Maverick, a lot of people said they don't like that it's all on the screen. Well, great. Just hit the button and say you want to climate to 75 degrees and it changes to 75. It's very simple. AM, FM radios, same way. Core navigation, the basic navigation and points of interest routing has not been changed. Phone integration, traditional phone calling via Bluetooth, no change there. The phone projection to Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are entirely unaffected. Customers can still use Siri or Google Assistant for messaging, complex searches, and apps. So through your phone, basically it's going through your phone at that point. It says what is being removed. So the natural language point of interest search, while basic navigation is like basic navigation, like navigate to and having an address, that remains, but complex contextual searches like find a coffee shop near a gas station will be limited. So saying find me this, right? And basically your search-based will not be. Cloud-based texting. So sending and receiving text messages via the native Ford system, Bluetooth, will no longer be supported. So the only way you can do the text messaging is through Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Weather queries. So you no longer can, ask to see the weather. It says native weather requests via Ford Assistant will be removed. However, these remain accessible via Alexa built-in, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, I believe. I know it just says Alexa built-in. So here are some of the vehicle lines that will be affected. I don't know. I think there are updates to all these systems. So if you have a current vehicle that has these connected services, upon updates, you will probably lose access to those. Just so you're aware, that could be happening if things are a little different. That's why. So it mentions in here vehicle lines that are impacted: Bronco, Outer Banks Lux Package, Badlands Lux Package, Strop Edition, Raptor Lux Package, Bronco Sport. It says all series and configurations. Escape, active with the Tech Package 1, and of course any of your Tech packages, right? So ST line with the Tech Package 1, ST line Select with Tech Package 1 or 2, ST line Elite, all of them Platinum and plug-in hybrids. All F-150 series configurations, Lightning, Pro, Flash, Lariat, and Platinum, all configurations. Super Duty, XLT with the Premium Pack, Lariat, King Ranch, Platinum, all configurations on the Platinum. It says Mustang, all series and configurations. Mustang Mach-E, all series and configurations. Maverick, XL, Lariat, Tremor, all configurations. Doesn't say XLT. I wonder if that's a typo. Because it seems like it would affect more of those than the others, but I don't know. Ranger, all series and configurations. Transit, all series and configurations. Transit, BEV as well. So vehicle lines not impacted. Lincoln, all series of Lincoln, not impacted. Bronco, Base, Big Ben, that's me. Heritage Edition. Outer Banks, non-Lux. Badlands, non-Lux. Strop Edition, I don't think you can get a Strop out of non-Lux, but they put it in here. Raptor, non-Lux, that's, I don't think, unless I guess you got an early Raptor, then maybe. All Explorers and Expeditions, because they're on the Ford Connectivity package now. So they're on that for the digital experience, right? So they won't be affected. Super Duty XL and XLT without the premium package. F-150 Lightning, XLT. And then Maverick, XLT, and Lobo, all configurations. So it does specify it. And then F650 and 750, all series. So anyway, so there you go. There's some changes to that, which we kind of noticed those changes in the order guides already, but there's the official on that. So some things are changing. We might have to make a short out of that at some point, but there you go. Any questions so far? Because I know that was kind of lengthy there.
I don't have any recall questions.
Do you have anything else?
I have questions about our topic.
Okay, well, I'll hold on to those.
Yeah.
So there are quite a few recalls, and I guess we could save those to the end if we wanted, but it sounds like people are really interested in this topic tonight.
Yes.
which is funny because I've covered this before in the past. But it's always good to recover things because there are people that didn't order vehicles a couple of years ago that are ordering this year. So that makes sense, right? All right. So some of these recalls, we'll just go through them as quick as I can. Safety recall 26S17. It's a supplement number 1, which means it's an update to the original recall that came out March 26th. And this affects 9,830 vehicles. And I think the biggest update on this was the population. So more vehicles are affected by this one than was before. And this recall here had to do with those that had the software update for 24S78 may not have received the remedy software intended to address the original concern. So there you go. And those that are affected, the letters should go out, should have went out last week for this. So this one came out late last week. All right, this next one is safety recall 26S28. And this is for 2015 to 2017 model year F-150 vehicles with the 6R80 transmission. This is a powertrain control module reprogramming for 1.3 million vehicles built in 2015, 16, 17 model years. So in all affected vehicles, an unexpected downshift to a lower gear may cause an abrupt wheel speed reduction for a short duration. In some cases, this may cause the rear tires to slide until the vehicle speed slows down. An unexpected downshift that causes the rear tires to slide could result in a loss of vehicle control, increasing the risk of a crash. So, and letters on this one are going to go out this week on that one there. This next one is customer satisfaction 26N04. And this is for the same years in that transmission. So it's actually the same. Looks like this is for people that aren't having issues with that yet. Then there is a one time. So it's like they don't have to get the recall done if they're not on that list. It's the same customers, but this basically saying you have a 150,000 mile warranty and no cost one-time repair, and it goes until July 31st of 2027. All right. This in here is an emissions recall, 26E04, and this is for 2021 to 2025 model year F-150s, Mavericks, Mustangs, Rangers, Expeditions, Bronco Sports, Explorer, Bronco, Navigator, and Aviator vehicles. 1.2 million vehicles. And actually, it's not all years. So like on F-150, it's 21 to 25. Maverick, it's only 25 model year. Mustang, it's 24 and 25. Ranger, 24 and 25. Expedition, 22 to 24. Bronco Sport, just 25. Explorer, 25 model year. Bronco, 22 to 25 model year. And Navigator, 22 to 24. And Aviator, 25 model year. So this in here it's an emissions recall. So the affected vehicles were manufactured with powertrain control module software that does not provide the required onboard diagnostic warnings when the intake air temperature sensor is faulted with an irrational low temperature as required by regulation. So letters are going to go out. It does say in here they're expected to go out pending approval for the recall. Again, this is an advance notice the week of October 12th of 26 or sooner. Owners will be given the option of installing software update themselves via an over-the-air update. And that works really well. My Bronco did the over-the-air update on the software update. And then I got a letter later saying it was completed. So, which is kind of cool. All right. This next one is a safety recall 26S21. This is supplement number 3. So, not sure when the original recall came out, but it's been a while. And this one here, the reason for this update, that's what they call a supplement update, is software is now available for all affected vehicles, including the 24 Nautilus. So this affects 25 model year Aviators and Explorers, and Nautilus 24 to 25, and Navigator 22 to 25. So this in here, if you had that recall, need to go through that whole recall, but letters are going to go out. It does say owner letters were mailed out March 30th, the week of March 30th. So you would already know that, but probably the other people that were added to that. Now the 24 Nautilus will probably be able to get the recall done finally. Safety recall 25S89, supplement number 2. The original one came out. Supplement number 1 came out April 20th. But on this one, the repairs for the 2015 model year Transit Connect are currently on hold. So that's an update to that. So this affects a lot of different vehicles, 2015 to 2019 for different model years, different models. Like I said, it's kind of an older one. 1.4 million vehicles are affected. But anyway, so right now the Transit Connect is on hold and can't be completed. So if you have a Transit Connect. So that's the reason for that update. Compliance recall 26C11. This is supplement number 1. The original recall came out June 2nd of 26. And this in here affects 887,799 vehicles, 22 to 22 Escapes, 22 to 2020 to 2022 Corsair, 2020 to 2024 Explorers, and Aviators. This is the screen update, right? The sync screen update. So anyway, so that one there looks like letters went out June 8th of those. And the update to this one was they actually have the technical and instructions now. So I think the original recall was an advance notice before. Now the actual fix is available for those vehicles. Let's see. This in here is a recommended repair prior to sale. So these are vehicles that hopefully come in before they got delivered on 26 model year F-150s. And this is a transmission fluid coolant hose push pin retainer inspection. So this is in effect through July 16th of 2027 for unsold vehicles, or up to 60 days after the warranty start date for those that have already been sold and delivered to customers. So yeah, there you go. Compliance recall 26C29, and this is for 2017 Escape Titanium and SE vehicles equipped with a technology package. So according to Forge Records, certain 2017 model year Escape Titanium vehicles and SE vehicles equipped with a technology package may not have software remedy for compliance recall 16C12 installed correctly. It only took you 10 years to figure that out. Anyway, letters are going to go out to those people week of July 20th for that, to get that fixed done. And this in here, last one, compliance recall 26C28 for 2018 to 2020 model year F-150s with the LED headlamp. Man, this recall was out, back in 2020. I remember that. We covered that. According to Forge Records, certain of those vehicles may not have the software for the compliance recall installed correctly. So letters are going to go out next week for those owners for that. So there you go. So yeah, wait for your letters. Some people, maybe you don't receive the letter, but look in your app under the service tab, and it should show everything in there for you. So,
all right.
Okay, that's that. Your turn. That's good. All right. How's it going? We got questions about this? Want me to start covering up first and then answer the questions? Or?
Yeah.
All right. This happens. This here I'm bringing up because a lot of people ask a lot of things about orders and everything. So I thought, let's just go through the process of ordering a vehicle, what all's entailed and everything. We've covered some different topics about ordering. In past, we've had price protection to worry about and some other things. So I'm going to go through the ordering process and everything and just kind of break it down first. So the way everybody knows. So first off, I might check and make sure our light's on. First off, when placing an order. So if you go to a dealer, say you want to order a vehicle, maybe a dealer does not have the vehicle you want on their lot at the time that you go in. And so maybe you decide you just want a custom order. You want it exactly the way you want it, right? Maybe they don't carry that vehicle. Like for us, like if you're coming in on a Maverick Tremor, we didn't have any on our lot. We never ordered a Maverick Tremor for anybody last year. So we never had any. So if you came in and wanted a Maverick Tremor, we wouldn't have one. So what you can do is custom order from your dealer. So, and in that process of ordering a vehicle, first of all, you probably want to ask that dealer if they have allocations, because that's going to be a big thing. I actually didn't go through of getting them scheduled, how to make sure you can get an order scheduled. But the big one is an allocation. So the way Ford does their system is that dealers basically, based on their sales of each model, is what dictates how many vehicles they can get they can get allocations. So an allocation is, I like to say, is the currency for dealers, right? To get an order scheduled for a dealer, whether it be a stock or a retail, they have to have allocations available. So without an allocation, it doesn't matter. So if, let's say we had 10 people come in and order a Dark Horse SC, right? Well, we're only getting 2 allocations for the entire year. So 8 people are not going to get theirs. So that is a conversation you have to have with your dealer is, what do your allocations look like for this year, right? What they look like even for this month. So allocations are given on a monthly basis at the beginning of each month based on their sales volume, as well as the in-stock vehicles they have. So, you look and see, let's say, like for us, 1 month Mavericks, we sold, 40 Mavericks 1 month, right? So that helps. And now we only have like 5 available Mavericks, right? So we're going to get a lot of allocations in a month because we sold a bunch and everything else. So it's usually a lot of dealers, you have some, you can almost even it out and figure you're going to get so many almost every single month. Now, with that in mind, Ford comes in and what they do is they call it wholesale. So they basically tell dealers, forecasting based on your sales volume, how many vehicles you have in stock, how many are coming that are in transit from the factory, right? And that kind of thing. This is based on that number. Here's how many allocations we're going to grant you this month. And it's every month it can be a different number. And so at that point, a dealer decides, do I want all those allocations? Do I need all of them? Do I need more than what they're giving me? So you basically can take their recommendation or what they're offering you. Let's say on Maverick, they offer us 10. Let's say they offer us 10, but we need 19, right? We think we need more. So then at that point, we go ahead and accept their 10 and then we request, called supplement request, more vehicles. But let's say it's the opposite effect. They want to give us 19 and we're like, you know what? We already have like 20 in stock and we normally can only sell 10. Maybe we decided we only need 10, not all 19. Well, then we can say we'll take 10 instead of 19. What that does is that's 9 vehicles we don't accept that can actually go to other dealers within the region. And so at that point, that's the people that asked for supplements that wanted extras. They hopefully a dealership out there didn't take all of their allocations given, and then you're able to get the allocations you need. Otherwise, they won't give you supplements. So there's sometimes, and that's kind of how that works. It's kind of an allocation system and a take and receive and that kind of thing. So that's kind of how that works. And with allocations, allocations are king. So if you have an order placed, but a dealer has 0 allocations that month, your order is not getting scheduled that month. That's just the way it is. It doesn't matter that you have an order in, and whether you think it's fair or not, this is the way Ford's done it for years. Because a lot of people for years did not custom order vehicles. It was, you went to a dealer lot, you picked a vehicle out off a dealer lot, and you bought it. Or you went to a different dealer and see what they had available, and you bought that one.
Or you waited until they had the color you wanted.
Right? Or whatever it might be. And that's the way it was. And a lot of people didn't even know that you can order. You've been able to do this for years. I mean, I've been a salesperson here for 25 years and you've been able to order vehicles.
Technically, the dealer orders the vehicles themselves.
Yes.
Therefore, the dealer could have been like, or the salesman could have been like, hey, my customer wants this, this, and this. The dealer can order it, whether it was a retail or not.
And we could actually have an order. So what will typically happen too, let's say you're a dealer and let's say I had 20 allocations for a certain model, but I only have 10 retail orders. A retail order is a customer placed order. So, right.
It has to have a name assigned
yes.
with their information.
Yes. So let's say, again, we get 20 allocations, only 10 retail orders. Well, we're going to get 20 allocations. So they want to give us 20 orders, right? Get scheduled. So what typically has to happen is if the dealer doesn't have enough retail orders in there, what Ford will do is the dealer really ought to do is they should put the stock orders in because they can put their own stock orders into the system. Now, let's say they don't though, what Ford will do is Ford will then push in their own orders into your system. And then a Ford dealer, and then a dealer, if they're not paying attention, will sometimes get scheduled for those orders. And so at that point, that's what they get. So that's why dealers, if they're smart, will put in their own stock orders of what they think they can sell the best of. And if a dealer really knows what they're doing, they will see in what they sell the most of.
Right. So if you kind of compare us to Kansas City, Kansas City is a metro area. We are a farming community. So the bulk of our sales are going to be truck sales, Super Duty, F-150, Ranger, truck sales for the farm. While in the metro area, it's going to be SUVs or smaller vehicles to get around the city and to commute, especially the hybrids. That's huge in the city where you might be commuting 30 minutes to an hour a day. So you need to order based on your area.
Yeah. So sometimes every dealer is going to get different. They're going to sell something well, some won't, that kind of thing. But that's how that works. And so as dealers, I know that Laura's in here, and I know Laura and I have talked a lot about ordering ordering for her dealership and how to get different orders and such. And like I was telling her, there's been times where she'll get an allocation and she has a retail order that's a certain configuration, but Ford's telling them, well, you can't get this package or that package right now. Well, you have to set tight on that. I think the big one, the biggest mistake Ford's doing, and that is on Dark Horse SC. So the way Ford's doing Dark Horse SC, and that's that new supercharged one, right? We saw at the Ford Racing event. So the Dark Horse SC has two different levels of it. There's a base Dark Horse SC, and there's the I can't remember what they call it now, but they call it there's a package above it. And so that's that you can get. So there's allocations are separate. So if you don't have an allocation for the upper tier one, I can't remember what package it is, some sort of handling package or something. But if you don't have a specific allocation for SC for that trim level, you don't get it. But they might give you an allocation for a base instead. But if your retail order is for the upper package and you have an allocation for a base, then that one, they won't take that order. They're going to actually want you to put in a base order. And we're like, well, that's not what I have an order for.
Right.
And so that's some of the complexities there. And so that's how that kind of works.
Yeah. I had to look it up. There's the standard Dark Horse, the Dark Horse Premium, and the Track Pack Dark Horse SC.
Track Pack is what I was looking at. Track Pack and the Special Edition Track Pack. Yeah. So anyway, so that's kind of how that works. That's allocation is pretty much, like I say, that is the currency that Ford uses for you to get an order. So where we had this happen a lot, we encountered it. I know that Granger Ford, a lot of people, when Bronco first came out, Granger Ford says, we're going to let you order from us at invoice pricing. And Bronco was new. So every dealer was doing like MSRP or higher, right? And Granger was going, we're doing invoice or below invoice or something. So they took like tons of orders for Bronco, but guess what? They didn't have allocations for the first year to fulfill all of them. There were people that ordered with them that took over 2 years to get them fulfilled and get their vehicle to them because they took so many orders. We did the same thing. We took Maverick. But they told us on Maverick, just put the orders in and we'll give you the allocations, because back then there was no Maverick history. So there was no way for them to base how many allocations you're going to get. So we took 700 Maverick orders that 1 year, and it took us 2 years to get them fulfilled as well. So that's kind of that scenario, right? So knowing what the dealers have for allocations and that they can fulfill your order is a big one. Because I've had a lot of people say, I can't get my order scheduled. We've had several people that have ordered Mustang Dark Horses from us because they've ordered with another dealer, and their dealer doesn't have the allocation. I says, we'll find out if they have the allocation. Well, they don't. I say, well, guess what? We have an allocation this month. I have no retail orders. I can almost guarantee I'm going to get you scheduled in the next 2 weeks, because scheduling's about ready to start. Put an order with us and I can get it for you.
Yeah.
And sure enough, we get them scheduled because we have the allocation and they don't. So that's a big one for those out there. So, all right. So anyway, hopefully I've covered that well. If I didn't, post your questions. Do you have any questions regarding that specific topic about allocations and such?
I don't think specifically about allocations.
Okay. So let's go through the process at this point. Of course, having an allocation is a big deal, and what you might want to ask, some of those questions to ask when you go to place that order. The other is placing that order. Once you place an order with your dealer, then they should, hopefully, you have to trust that they did this, place that order in what they call the WebDo system. That's a web-based ordering system. Ordering database or something like that, database ordering system. Anyway, they put the order in there. And usually what they'll do is they have to print that out, and the customer typically will sign that order that they're okay. That's what they want to order, and they usually have them sign that. Another thing that hopefully the dealer has done is have you fill out a buyer's order that basically says when that vehicle comes in, you're going to buy it, and you sign that. A good common practice is have the dealership sign it as well. So that way, you know, that's the price you're going to get when that vehicle comes in. They're not going to raise the price on you based on what the market value is at that point. And that way you want to kind of get them to sign. A lot of times they also need a copy of your driver's license. And the reason I'm mentioning this is something that, back when Maverick happened, the COVP was very important. And then later they wasn't as important, I didn't feel, but it is still important. And a lot of people don't think that I need to do that, and that dealers don't feel like they need to submit the order into a COVP. It's a certified order verification process. That is still a thing to this day. You still have to submit that. And here's what's protected, because back then you got that because of different things, right? You wanted to get the order in there, and they only gave dealers allocations based on certified orders. I want to see a real person tied to this with a real driver's license that's buying this vehicle when it comes in. And that's how we got allocations on Maverick. And that's why we did so well on Maverick. But now what it does for you is it locks in any special pricing. So we just had employee pricing, right?
Yeah.
Where everybody gets employee pricing. Well, one of the things was if you ordered during that time, you locked in that employee pricing as long as your dealership does a CVP process, because you have to do that. So when that order comes in, they can verify the order date and everything as well. Now, another thing that does by doing the COVP is it price protects you within that price point. So there's a pricing level that happened, whatever pricing level the vehicle is at when you ordered your vehicle. We have price increases that happen all throughout the year. There'll be a price increase. Okay, this trim level now, or the destination charge went up by $200 for any vehicle built after this date. But if you ordered it at the old ordering pricing, you are price protected to that, as well as incentives. So let's say today, I think for instance, let's say Maverick EcoBoost right now has $1,000 rebate, right? But let's say in a month, they lose the rebate. There's no rebate. Well, when you ordered your vehicle, whatever the rebate was when you ordered the vehicle is what rebate you get, as long as you put in the, when they go to do the incentives, they put in the protect date instead of the sale date. So you basically get the incentives of what it is when you buy the vehicle or what it was when you ordered the vehicle. And so that's where the COVP comes into practice, because that customer should get that. But if the dealer didn't fulfill the COVP, the dealer won't get reimbursed back that difference. Otherwise, they will get reimbursed the difference. So your order is placed. Make sure they COVP it as well, so that way you get all price protection and everything else, and that's all squared away. Then at that point, you wait until your order gets scheduled for a production date. And so basically these happen on Thursdays. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, they'll what they call preview the order, so you can see an order that Ford's thinking about scheduling based on their capacity or what their availability is. So if an order is being previewed, and only the dealer can see this, they can see if it's a previewed order. They can see that on Mondays or Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Thursday, that's when they schedule. And as long as your dealer put in your email address when they punch the order in, then you'll get an email from Ford. And the way to know whether or not they submitted your email address is when you place your order, you will get an email from Ford that says that your order was placed. So if you don't get that order, let's say 24 hours after you've ordered the vehicle with that dealer, you might go and talk to the dealer. Did you not place my order? Because in some cases, it could be the fact that they didn't actually submit the order. And the other situation of why you may not get an email is they didn't put your email address in on the order, which is also important. They could have put their own email. They're required to actually put an email address in. In fact, they're required to put two in. One of them, what we do is one's the customer's email, and the other usually is we either have our ordering manager or the salesperson that customer goes to get the email address, so that they get their emails on their own customers when they get scheduled. Mm-hmm. So anyway, so at that point, you're waiting to get scheduled. So this week was the first week of scheduling with a new set of allocations for September production dates. We'll talk about how scheduling works and dates and everything in just a second. So basically at that point, if let's say this Thursday, you had an order placed and you get scheduled for a production date, which is going to be in the future, then you'll get an email saying you've been scheduled to the week at that point. And so, like I said, Ford schedules out about 2 months in advance. So this month, we're in July. they're scheduling for September production dates. That's 2 months out from now. So they schedule ahead, right, for those production, and you get scheduled to the week. Now, at that point, you're scheduled. Now, let's say you decided you want something different. Let's say you saw a color at a dealer and go, oh, I want that color instead of the one I have. And your order's already been scheduled. You can make changes to your order after it's been scheduled. And once it's scheduled, it gets a VIN number. Forgot to mention that. But with a VIN number, you can make some changes. Now, I say some changes. Anything that would affect the VIN number cannot be changed. So here's some things that affect the VIN number. Of course, VIN number is a 17-digit number. You guys know. Most everything starts with a 1 if it's made in the U.S. In Mexico, it's a 3. So all your Mavericks and Bronco Sports will have a 3 to start with. F is Ford. Anyway, you're certain digits. But there is a body code in there that tells what trim level your vehicle is. So that is something you can't change. So let's say you decide I order a Bronco Big Bend. 4-door configuration, right? I can't decide, you know what? I want a 2-door instead, and I want a Badlands. No, you can't do that. You have to reorder at that point, because those are things that the VIN number detects. In that VIN number, you look at it. I can look at a VIN. I can look at any VIN number, and I can tell you what model it is, what trim level it is. Even like on a Bronco, I can tell you, well, that's a 4-door Big Bend by those numbers. The next numbers is your motor. So that's another thing you can't change once it gets scheduled, is what motor you have. So I've actually had someone that said, hey, I decided instead of a 2.7 automatic, I want a 2.3 manual. Can't do that. Can't make that change. So if you decide to do something, you're going to have to basically reorder the vehicle.
Yeah.
Colors can be changed. A lot of packages can be changed because those aren't dictated by the VIN number. Sometimes your axle, like if you have a rear locking axle on an F-150, a lot of times that can't be changed because that actually is one of the VIN numbers across there. But everything else, a lot of things can be changed to a certain time. Ford just updated this. You cannot make your order is locked in 28 days before your actual production date. So about 4 weeks out from your production date, they will schedule it to the day and lock your order. That is how it's going to be built. No more changes at that point. So you can, when it first gets scheduled, like I said, they schedule out 2 months. So usually within the first, 2-3 weeks, you can make some changes to the order. Now, one caveat to that is you can't make changes the day it gets scheduled. So on Thursday, you wouldn't be able to make changes, but Friday you can. So, and what it'll do is if the dealer goes in, a lot of dealers say you can't make changes. And I'm going to tell you that right now. You go to a dealer, I'm like, well, Tim, they said they can't make changes. I'm like, well, they're wrong. I know you can make changes. It's what it comes down to is whether or not the dealer is willing to do that for you. That comes into play on anything. Price protection, right? Yeah. Ford will price protect, right? You could make changes. So there's a lot of things that is available. Ford allows the dealers to do, but but it's up to the dealer to be helpful for their customers, which is another reason why it's very important to pick your dealers, because some dealers will say, yeah, no problem. But then you're going to have some of them where you have a manager that's like, no, we can't make changes to those orders. And it's just because maybe they just have had a bad day and they don't want to make those changes. And it can come down, be as simple as that, how willing they are to help you out. Because what I'm telling you is 100% accurate. I've been in business 25 years. I've been ordering vehicles for a long time. We've talked about this. I've helped people get orders scheduled that were struggling with constraints and everything, and telling them to make these changes because these are things that are not scheduling right now for certain reasons, right? The other day, there was somebody on the Bronco 6G, and they said, yeah, my dealer told me it would probably be a while before I can get I ordered a manual transmission, and they're not scheduling. It's probably going to take a long time to get it scheduled. I'm like, that is actually not true. The production number and how many manuals they produce is a very low number, but also it's a lower number of how many people actually have ordered one. So, right. Not only did we get some produced, but we sold 2 manuals in the last 2 weeks. 2 out of the 4 Broncos we sold this month are manuals. Guess what we're going to order more of? Manual transmissions. Right? Because not many people, you can't go to...
Not many dealers are holding them.
Yeah, not many dealers are going to have them on their lot, first of all. So if you want a manual transmission, we're going to try to have one for customers at all times. 2-doors as well. Try to find a 2-door. Dealers aren't ordering them. Last year, we were one of the top dealers in the country for 2-door sales.
Yeah.
Because we were willing to stock them.
So Laura asks, why would they not change it for them? So some dealerships have policies. It's the manager's policy. I'm not going to make changes to this because in a lot of dealerships, the salesmen do not have access to the ordering system. It is it's a manager's position to have access to that.
Yeah.
So managers don't, when they're busy, they don't want to change things. They don't want to deal with it. They don't want to be messing with things.
Yeah.
Or a salesman's just like, hey, you placed it. That's how you placed it. We went over it. You should have had it confirmed when we put it in.
Yeah.
It's all up to preference, how busy they are, how friendly they are. It's all up to preference and
Laura,
everything.
Laura, you and I, Allie's in here too. We're dealers that are a different breed. We like to take care of people, right? We are about helping and providing customer service to our customers. Some people, it's just about the paycheck, right? It's just about selling a car, making money, and moving on. And so they're not willing to do extra stuff. No. And that's just as simple as it is. So we're always, willing to make those changes. So some just really don't know, though.
Yeah, even here at our dealership, I think when I first started helping with the Mavericks, we had customers contacting us going, hey, I want to change my order, but my salesman's refusing. But on your podcast, you said I can change it. And I'd be like, well, who's your salesman? I'll go see what's going on. And some of our own salesmen have a personal policy for their own customers that they won't change things.
But some of them, I think they truly didn't realize.
Some of them, yes. There were some that we had, but we talked to them. So it's all about talking, communication, letting them know. Sometimes, we've had people say, hey, let's watch this video because Tim knows what he's talking about. Let's watch this video. And then they'll watch it and they go, okay.
And sometimes I'll say, yeah, we can make changes. And then we'll actually go in there and try. And we couldn't make changes. So there is that happening. So at a certain point, we used to not know when that fine line was of when we couldn't make changes. I didn't realize that before it was like, I think Ford had it up to 2 weeks out. You could still make changes or whatever. Now they actually have it 28 days is where we're locking it.
Yeah. Well, even you had been working here for 20 years and it took a while for you to figure that out. Mm-hmm. When we were really getting into Maverick and people were wanting to change orders.
And another thing too is if you are every single week making changes to your order, at a certain point, that's going to drive them nuts. Right. And so you got to think about that too. If you're going to make changes, and
make
you're like,
sparingly.
If you're like, you know what, this week I just, I don't want that. No, you know what, I want to go back to what I had before, or, and so that can be some of it too, is that, he just needs to make up his mind. I'm like, I always like to say, if you order it, you should expect it that way. If you decide you want to make a change, then, and it's just kind of one of those things, and that's great. We had a case where your sister ordered a vehicle.
Yes.
And she didn't realize it wasn't going to have some things. And I said, well, that's part of the XLT luxury package. And well, I want those things. And it had already been scheduled. So I knew that we could make changes. So we made the change. And what happened was her production date was 1 month and it moved it back a full month.
Yes.
So we made the changes, but it did affect her build date because they only have a certain capacity for those luxury packages, which were already scheduled. So they let you make the change, but then what it's going to do is it could throw that order production date back into another week or 2 weeks if they already are within capacity and already have all those scheduled.
Yeah. Steve Granger put it great. Order like a pizza. You order sometimes you can online shop and you can return things or you can change your minds, cancel. Pizza, you place your order, it's in. They're cooking it. It's ready to go.
Yeah.
What you order is what you get.
Yeah.
So treat it like that. Make sure that what you're ordering is what you want.
Yep. Now I think about, since Ford has kind of said 28 days out is when the last you can make any changes and that order is locked. I believe that's when it switches from being scheduled to the week to actually getting a production date within that week. And usually about 7 to 10 days prior to that day, the build date, then what happened is you'll get a statement that'll say that your vehicle is going into production. That doesn't mean it's actually being built. So at that point, that's when they print the window sticker. That's when they put that order, give the order to the plant so the plant can make sure all of the supplies they need, all the things that go on your vehicle are there ready to be assembled that day. And so that's like a lot of people we've had, and a lot of questions about people saying, my vehicle said my production date's not for another week, but they're saying it's being built right now. I'm like, no, in production does not necessarily mean it's being built. There is a process to have a vehicle built. And one of those parts of that process is having a shell of a vehicle that's the color you need. Because, by the way, they don't paint your vehicle. Your vehicle's not getting painted. What happens is your vehicle with an order says it's an orange. They like, we need 5 orange shells today. They bring your vehicles already pre-painted, and then they assemble it.
The way they explained it, it's like a vending machine of shells. They have pre-painted shells lined up, ready to go. And they go, okay, we need 5 red, 5 green, and 5 blue. And they push them out and bring them over.
Yep. So like like on your Broncos where you get roll bars and different things and tops, it's a little different, but your main, thing is painted, and then the doors are painted. So they got to bring all the right doors in, mounted doors in, they get the right 2-door, 4-door configuration, that kind of thing. On trucks, it's like they need moonroof versus a non-moonroof. I need this many orange moonroofs with moonroof, and this many orange without, that kind of thing. So that's usually how that works.
Now, in production's an umbrella term. It covers a lot of ground.
Yeah, so it can stay in production for like 2 to 3 weeks technically, because what'll happen is once that they need to know the parts, they give it to the factory, it goes into production, and it's called sent to plant. Is what we see on our system. We'll see sent to plant. That means that vehicle is going to be built soon. The vehicle, not really the vehicle's being sent to the plant, but the orders have been sent to the plant for the production of the vehicle. It's actually it's built in 1 day. But then at that point, you have quality checks and everything else before it's actually released. So a vehicle will stay in the in-production status until it's actually handed off to the shipping company. So once it leaves the factory and it's been checked and it's good and verified, once it leaves the factory, it'll switch from being in production to in transit. And typically in transit, I usually say takes about 4 weeks. And not necessarily 4 weeks, depending on if you're a Michigan dealer and you're getting a Bronco, it's probably 2 weeks or a week, right? Yeah. If you like our F-150s in Kansas City, we are getting vehicles within a couple weeks because they're in Kansas City, and it's just a transport on over to us, that kind of thing. So it really depends. I used to say is, when's your production date? And once you get that, the vehicle is built, like email, because typically you will figure about 4 weeks at that point, especially our Maverick customers. I got to figure about 4 weeks. So it just depends, but just allow for that about a month, because a lot of people have asked us that too in the past too. Is like, hey, mine's going to be built, October. Steve Granger's asked us that. I think his is being built. I think did this just get built? I think his might have just gotten built.
His is actually in transport.
So it's in transport. So it just got built like last week, I think.
Yes.
And so it's in transport, which means probably then it's going to be here pretty, within the next couple of weeks, because it is a Bronco, and it's.
He was wondering if we can track it later.
Oh yeah, we were going to do that on our member live stream, and I didn't do it last week, so remind me.
It's on the rails.
So that's typically a lot of times if it says it's on the rail, usually from Michigan, from Detroit to Kansas City, it's only like 1 day it's on the rail, maybe 2, and then it's in Kansas City. And then at that point, then it usually takes a couple of weeks for it to get on a truck and transport to get to us. But anyway, yes. So then, like we just mentioned just now, so once it's been shipped out, it gets put on a rail sometimes to get to the nearest depot. Kansas City for us. If it's a truck, it's already in Kansas City. If it's built in Kansas City, and then it gets shipped to the dealership. Now, once it arrives at the dealership inspects it for any transport damage. That happens. We see that a lot. I mean, they're driving these vehicles 70, 80 miles an hour on the highway. I guess 70 probably. Rock chips can hit windshields. They can hit the sides of vehicles. Sometimes vehicles come in and the transport driver's not as careful as they should be. And sometimes there can be some damage upon, from transport. It goes on a rail. I mean, things can happen. So we inspect them for any damage. And if there is damage, then we get that fixed right away. At that point, then after they've been inspected, then they'll usually go, most dealerships, like for us, goes to our service department and a pre-delivery inspection is done where we add any DIOs, dealer installed options, that were put on the vehicle. And hopefully those DIOs showed up before the vehicle did. Unlike our Expedition, which took, I think we figured out, it came in yesterday. The wheels came in yesterday. So it was here, what, a week? So it was 10 days for the wheel to come in after the vehicle was here. But they are on now. Expedition's pictured up. It should be on our website now. They'll check any of the fluids. They'll put the antennas on. Some they'll pull the plastic off the vehicles and everything. Then they'll, at that point, then for us, it comes to us. We put a GPS tracker in it, and then we give it to Washline, and then it gets cleaned up. For us, then we picture it. We have a picture building. We picture all of our vehicles, and then and then they put any tag brackets or anything else that's supposed to be on it. So dealer badging, all that kind of stuff. So if you didn't want like dealer badging or some of that stuff, you need to make sure your dealer knows that when it comes in, because usually service department will put all that stuff on. So you'll want to make sure that you know that, because that communication's happening. That point, then it can be delivered to the customer. And in the process of doing that is you do the paperwork. And that is where it is your salesperson's job, the dealership's job to go into Smart Vincent and get the correct incentives and pricing from when it was when you ordered or today's date. So if it comes in today, you ordered it 2 months ago, we can look and see what were the incentives 2 months ago versus what are they now. And so we can just see which is best. And you can't get anything in between. Like, there are some people that ordered vehicles prior to the employee pricing going live, right? Well, you ordered before that, so the employee pricing wasn't in effect. And if the vehicle comes in after employee pricing is over, we had that happen last year a lot, then you missed out on it as well. So then you can't get employee pricing. So that's where you can do it. So it's when you ordered the vehicle or when it comes in, whatever the incentives are and the price point as well. So if there's a price increase, hey, I want those. Now, what we saw sometimes was we'd see a price increase, but the rebates would go up. So it's like, well, do you want the higher price and those rebates, which are higher, or let's look and see what the price was before, and do we want the incentive that was before? Let's see which is best. And so that's what the dealership should do. Again, should do and will do is two different things. But we're just telling you the way it's supposed to happen. And then that's so that you guys have that power when you go into your dealerships to go, I know what this process is supposed to look like. And here's what it's supposed to look like. And that's not what you guys are doing. So sometimes, hopefully this video will help you as customers be more empowered when you go in to know what the process is like and what your rights are and what the dealership's actually doing. Now, just because you know it, though, you can't make the dealer do it if they're not willing to do it. But just like with anything, dealers negotiate. They should be willing to do these things for you if, so hopefully the dealers are honest and you don't have to go through that. And they're going to already know that stuff and say, hey, when you ordered it, here's what the incentives were. Now here's what they are, which direction you want to go, that kind of thing. Anyway, so there you go. So there's kind of how the ordering system works. Now, of course, any questions now would be good. I think I've pretty much covered
all right.
everything I was thinking about covering. I probably forgot a couple things, but
can you refuse the GPS tracker? Yes. Or you can purchase it and have the subscription, everything. But if you don't want it, we take it out.
So we use the Recover system, and it's about as big as a little, it's a little round thing about that big. And that goes, you can put it wherever you want in your vehicle. But we actually put it somewhere easy to notice and easy to find, either the glove box or we put it in the seat back for us. Because if you, at that point, you would say, because what happens is to say, would you like this service? Here's what's included. Here's how much it would cost. A lot of times it will save you money on insurance. Also, it's kind of nice being able to track exactly where your vehicle is. And you can say, well, I can do that in my FordPass app. Not 100%. So the way the FordPass app GPS works is that is a modem. So it will only mark where you were when you shut your vehicle off. So if I look at my vehicles right now, all the ones that are stationary have not gone anywhere, are not in motion right now. I can say, yes, this is where they are. But if my wife gets in her vehicle and starts driving to Wichita, it'll actually show that last place she was at, it was at my house. When really she's somewhere between here and Wichita. Until she gets in there and shuts her engine off, then it'll say she was in Wichita. That's how Ford system works. Our GPS tracker will actually track you in motion. which some people like. So again, knowing the benefits, any of our products, if you don't want gap protection, you don't have to buy it. I mean, most, and everything else. So at that point, we take that tracker out because those trackers are expensive. So if you don't buy the service, we want it back. So, right. So we're supposed to take it out. So anyway.
Okay. All right. Ordered Lariat Maverick at the end of June. If I find a matching Maverick in inventory at a different dealer, am I likely to get some pushback from my dealer if I ask them to do a dealer trade? On this, most dealers are different. Some dealers are okay with dealer trades. It may not be them that's giving the pushback. It might be the other dealer, because when you dealer trade, you're basically giving them that allocation. So if we give a vehicle to someone in California because someone ordered it there, they're not going to take it. The best possible option for us is to let that dealer have it. They then get that sold allocation and we do not. So if we can swap vehicles, both of us get allocations. But other than that,
we get again, it's a turn and earn. Allocations are based on your sales. So if you dealer trade, if I dealer trade a Maverick to another dealer, but I don't get something back, then now they have a Maverick sale and I won't get a Maverick sale. I lost that Maverick's opportunity to sell a Maverick. So that's a lost sale in the sense. So that's where you would have to think about that. Also, but for us, anytime we have a sold vehicle, like if we have somebody that wants an F-150 that's somewhere and that dealer's like, well, I want this back. Fine. You can have anything off our lot because we look at it as a sold vehicle. Yeah, we keep our customer instead of them going to that dealer. But also, it depends if your vehicle has been scheduled. If your vehicle has been scheduled, your dealer may want you to wait for that vehicle just because once it comes in, now they have a unit on their lot that they have to sell. And if you ordered a certain configuration and it's not something that's easily sellable, which is why there are people that don't like our Super Duty process, because we actually ask for like about a $2,000 deposit on some of our Super Duties. Because if you configure a Super Duty as a platinum $100,000 Super Duty, you know how hard that is for us to sell. So far this month, we looked it up, and we do this a lot. The price of the Super Duties that we sold this month were less than $70,000. So if you take and you order a vehicle that's a King Ranch Platinum, something like that, that's a $100,000 vehicle, and then you don't take it when it comes in, we have to find a way to sell it. Sometimes that means keep lowering the price until we actually lose money. And that's why we ask for the deposit. So, and the other reason we ask for a deposit is that seriousness. And that might be another thing when we talked about the person earlier that said, well, I get kickback. Well, maybe because that's why they might sometimes ask for a deposit, because they want you to actually take the vehicle when it comes in. And it's that way they know that you're a serious buyer, that you're willing to do that. And it's typically, if you put a deposit down on a vehicle, don't expect it back. And now a lot of times it'll go towards the purchase of your vehicle when that vehicle comes in, but don't expect it back. I mean, it's just like anything. If you put a deposit, I got campsites for Super Sell, right? I have to put a deposit down. I'm not getting that back. That's saying they're slotting out these dates for me to camp at that campsite. I'm not getting that money back because it's a deposit. Now the rest of it I pay when I get there, but the first deposit, which I think some campsites it's 10% or it's one night usually. I did that, went to Moab. I got a campsite, and then I talked to Brian and Melissa, and they said we could stay at their place. Well, I canceled. Well, I lost a one night of stay there, and I'm like, well, that's still a lot cheaper than, because I'm going to stay in with them or whatever. So that's any situation like that, right? Yeah. I mean, and if you think about it, you're taking allocation. Well, because if your ordered vehicle is scheduled, that's someone else's vehicle that could have gotten scheduled. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I see what you're saying there. Yeah. So there's a lot that goes into it when you're looking at those. But every dealer can do whatever they want. A lot of times it has to do with that manager that's sitting at the sales desk, and they decide yes or no is what it takes. Right? We have 2-3 different sales managers. All of ours are pretty much going to help our customers out, but not all dealerships are that way. So. Yeah. So are you price protected on a 26 model? If I put a deposit down with my driver's license and it rolls over to a 2027, example, F-150. So between model years, it is not price protected. It used to be when we had Maverick
Bronco, those vehicles that they couldn't schedule every person's order, they did a private offer where they gave you money to cover the extra costs between the model years. But they don't do that because dealers should not be taking more orders than they can fulfill.
Yep. So I was when we covered this a lot, when we had a lot of when they couldn't fulfill everybody's orders there for a while during COVID and everything, or right after COVID, I always used to say it's pretty simple. Price protection is within the model year, within that model year. So you're price protected on any 26 that comes in that you ordered a 26. If your order doesn't get scheduled, that 26 order is gone. You have to order a 27. What they used to do is if Ford felt like it was their fault, they would give private offers. So if they saw that there was an actual confirmed order in 26, then they would give that customer private offer for a 27 order. But we had issues even with a lot of customers where we had to try to get those private offers because they, for some reason, didn't come through. Because if they didn't order it in the exact name that they ordered the 26,
or if there's a typo in the address or the email address or in the name,
it had to be
it was
identical.
a headache.
Yeah, it was a struggle. We don't really have that now because really everybody's kind of caught up and you don't see that now. So they're not going to do a private offer. Let's say 26 F-150, some people that have the tow haul at the max tow axle, they hope that they're going to get price protected. They're not. They're going to have to just order 26 because you have an opportunity to get a 26 if you just take that off. And so Ford's going to say, no, we have plenty of availability to build. Maybe we can't build in your exact specification, but they won't.
We can get you a truck.
Yeah, they won't. They're not going to do a private offer for those.
Yeah.
So
now for deposit, that should roll over.
Deposits within the dealership. That's up to the dealership.
That's up for the dealer. So
every dealer.
I know here, if your order doesn't get scheduled for the model year and you do have to reorder for the next model year, we do keep your deposit in there. It works on the next model year. It moves over.
Yeah. So anyway.
So alrighty. So what if the incentives are better on the sale date? You can choose to have the sale date incentives.
So in Smart Vincent, when a lot of dealers don't know how to do this, but when you go in, when they first load in your VIN number and your information and everything, it'll automatically default to go on to, it'll be like there's two little radio buttons.
Yeah.
And one will say sale date and it automatically defaults to sale date. That's today's date. But if you have an ordered vehicle, right, you put that VIN number in, they know that you ordered it based on your name. As long as the name matches in Smart Vincent to the name that ordered the vehicle, which is another important thing, is that you get the name right when you order the vehicle. As long as that name is the same, it's going to, and you click over to protect date on those radio buttons on the sale date, on the date of sale, and you hit protect date, it knows it was when you ordered the vehicle and it is able to pull incentives of what it was when you ordered the vehicle. So then it's, like I said, price, what it was priced based on price protection, as well as incentives when you ordered it, or what the incentives and the price is today. So that's how that works, or the sale date.
Now, if you're a Ford employee or with a Ford partner, you can get Z plan, D plan, A plan.
Yep.
Those you can check to see if your price protection incentives are good, or if the current incentives are better, or if your plan incentives are better. Typically, your plan incentives go on top of current, or right? They build on each other, right?
What do you mean?
So, like, let's say that there's a good incentive going on, and then they get $2,000 off.
Well, so Smart Vincent, you actually say what sale type it is, and then it'll tell you what your incentives are based on that sales type. So a lot of times Z plan will get the same incentives as a regular anybody else. So typically it's the same, but sometimes you can get even more rebates for an employee than that. So like when when everybody gets employee pricing going on, because they knew that means that even an employee then doesn't get, why would I use my employee pricing? Right. Well, what they did was during that time was they gave an extra rebate for people using the plan price. Yeah. So then you got an extra $1,000.
Or sometimes there's like the disaster relief incentive. So if you're in a certain area and you've been through a disaster, they'll sometimes do disaster relief incentives to get you new vehicles.
Yeah. Or you go to an auto show. If you go to an auto show and you get a coupon, sometimes then you get a special coupon from going to
ICI
iShow.
offers or
Yeah, and if you're well, Jeff has a $3,500 rebate because he's got a lease coming due, right? So he's got an extra $3,500 towards a lease or purchase of another Maverick or any vehicle, I think, actually.
I got a training call today. I have an ICI offer. All right. Let's see. First order was a 1990. Oh, so he was talking about when he first ordered a custom vehicle, 1992 F-250 regular tag, or cab, I think, 2-wheel drive, 5-speed manual, regular cab, long bed.
Right.
And let's see. S. Young says he ordered his first in 1988. Only way to get exactly what you want.
I started selling here in 01, same year as the 911.
Yeah. So let's see. All right. Let's come up back here to the top. I have a 26 Lariat 5.0 for antimatter blue and HUD through October 5th with August 6th final scheduling. Should I drop HUD and switch to agate black now to avoid a 27 rollover and save my rate protection?
So not sure what NP stands for.
I'm not sure.
But there's nothing. Heads-up display could be a problem, but I don't know.
If you're already scheduled, you're good to go.
Oh, he said he's scheduled?
He said
with a
August 6th final scheduling.
Final scheduling. No, August 6th is the last week they're scheduled.
Oh, okay.
So that's what he's saying there. If you haven't been scheduled yet,
previewing.
Not previewing. If you haven't been scheduled, I'd love to know what the NP stands for. But what he's saying there on NP, I don't know. But the thing about it is that sometimes the colors that aren't basic sometimes come and go. So being antimatter blue, if they decide they want to discontinue antimatter blue, this is a little secret that a lot of people don't know about, and that we found when we looked at Maverick, is we saw people that had a color that was being discontinued for the next year. They're more likely to schedule that order of a discontinued color.
Yeah.
Than they are another order. So by actually switching to black they're going to have every year, but they may do away with antimatter blue. We don't know. But those kind of uncommon colors like that, you're almost better off staying with that, because if they discontinue antimatter blue for 27, they're probably more likely to schedule your order because they want you to get the color you want.
So things that we've seen, like with Maverick, if we can kind of predict what they're removing based off of what they're scheduling. So if that last round of scheduling, they're scheduling all the orange or the antimatter blue, we know they're taking it away because they're trying to get those fulfilled so that people are upset when they have to roll over to the next year and that color's not available.
I would say probably the biggest thing for you is that as long as you don't have the tow haul or the max tow axle. If you don't have the max tow axle is really the only thing that should stop your order being scheduled, other than your dealership not having an allocation. So again, allocation is king. If you don't have an allocation, nothing's going to happen. It doesn't matter what you do. You can make it the simplest order out there that they have so much production available. But if your dealer doesn't have an allocation, it's not going to happen. It's not going anywhere. It's not getting scheduled. So that's the first conversation, is how many allocations do they have? Because in their WebDo system today, I can go in and look and see how many allocations we have for the month, because nothing's been scheduled yet, because Thursday is the day that it schedules.
Yes.
That's a big one. Ask them how many allocations they have this month, because they'll be able to see that now if they go in their WebDo system. That's the first thing. As long as they have an allocation. Your order may not be previewing, but it doesn't necessarily mean anything, because it cannot preview. Tuesday be preview and Wednesday. So today it may not, but tomorrow it may be previewing. But I don't know what the NP stands for. Did he ever say?
That means not previewing.
Oh, not previewing. Okay. But the heads-up display might be not a bad idea. I mean, that's not listed on the commodity constraint, but to be honest, taking it off could be what triggers it, right?
Yeah.
It could be one of the things that stops it. So take that off. If you like the antimatter blue, keep it on. But I don't see any reason it shouldn't get scheduled.
Yeah.
And as long as you don't have that max tow. That's the big one right now, is the max tow.
Yeah.
And the 5.0 with certain configuration. On Lariat, it shouldn't be a big deal, but like a Lobo, that's been a hard one to get scheduled. Regular Cav 5.0 and 4x4 has been really hard to get scheduled. And Tremor 5.0s are hard to get scheduled right now. So it has to do with the axles and stuff. So, but a 5.0 Lariat shouldn't have any issues really.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Mark Middleton, what's the chance of a Lariat FX4 SC built in 2026 with the max tow? Which,
okay, we talked about max tow is virtually 0%. Now, I hope your SC stands for Super Crew, not Super Cab, because you can't get a Lariat Super Cab. I assume it's a Super Crew. FX4 shouldn't be an issue. That max tow is an issue. Max tow, it's like if you're a lucky person, leave it on.
Yeah.
But if you're very unlucky, you never ever win a contest or anything, then take it off because you're probably not going to get.
So he said, has there been any upgrades to the F-150 10-speed transmission? He heard rumors the valve body has been improved. Is this true? Is it better than the previous 10-speed transmission?
I haven't.
And he's talking about 26.
I really don't know, to be honest. Because a lot of times in the order guides, they don't really go in specifications about that they've made changes to this or this. They just tell us features and configurations. They don't usually tell us like Bronco made a change to their 2.3 liter in some things, and they didn't say anything to dealers until they started showing up, and some dealers were like, hey, this is different. And so we didn't know. So
yeah.
So sometimes
he's the one that was talking about allocations and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
He's with Galpin, and they confirm that they have an allocation.
Oh, yeah. So they're going to be plenty of allocations. Man, I'd be surprised if it doesn't get scheduled. This is a big week. So if you don't get scheduled this week, then you might need to start making some thoughts about whether or not you're going to get scheduled, because they're not going to probably use all. F-150, they don't schedule all their orders in the beginning of the week like they do in the other models. And by the way, I think F-150, they're actually still scheduling for some August build dates.
Right.
Too still. So they're not really into the final. Like this week, I don't think they're still scheduling for August, I believe, if I remember right. So this isn't the last chance you have, but like I said, that we have this week, which is the 16th, right? We have the 16th, 23rd, 30th, and 6th. So those are you have 4 weeks of scheduling. So I'd maybe, play it by ear at this point, leave it, let it ride for 1 to 2 weeks. But then after this week and next week, if you don't get scheduled, then remove that heads up display and see what happens.
Yeah. All right. No Man's Land. When is the deadline for ordering a Bronco?
Oh, we got a long time.
You're good.
From what I understand, I believe 27 model year order banks are going to open up in October. That's what I believe. So they're going to produce through like December. So we got a ways. They usually will tell us about a month out that this is the balance out scheduling.
Yeah.
So I can tell you that September is not, and I don't think October is either. So because they've already told us that Maverick and Bronco Sport is October balance out. So we know that they're going to produce fully in October. So we're at least another month out. So there's RagnarCon.
We mentioned Bronco.
Yeah, right?
We mentioned Bronco and you appeared.
All leads back to Bronco. All right.
Okay. Let's see. Looking for expedition active order versus build scheduling time.
Order versus build. Okay, so like we mentioned earlier, they schedule out about a couple months. Expedition active order. Active is pretty easy to get scheduled. Shouldn't be any issues there. And like I said, they're not going to schedule this week. I don't know why Expedition always seems like to run that way. Everything else will like that. This week is a week that they're starting scheduling for almost everything. But Expedition, I don't know why, but that first week they don't. But then the next week they schedule all their stuff in 1 week. So next week can be an important week to put the order in to get scheduled. But they're scheduling for September production dates this month. So again, 2 months out. So
yeah. Are you all? Hold on. What's up? Here we go. Are you all up for a priority 3 expedition active order? Just asking for my wife.
We usually put all of our orders in as a priority 3. Typically.
But we can get one in.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we actually, you might check now. We have a what would we have is the one that we have. I think the active that we have right now is the Nocturnal Blue. It's in on our showroom, and then we just had another active show up today. I think
so.
We have allocations available for this month. So
I'm guessing you. Oh, F-150 27 order guide out yet?
28th.
Okay.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks away. We'll probably cover it. I'll do the best I can, but that next Tuesday will be difficult. But the plan is that the 28th will cover 27 changes, but I probably won't be my deep dive changes that night. It'll probably be more of what the order guide is telling me and any major changes. But I'll do the deep dive probably, Wednesday. And we'll get the actual, like the one I usually do, we'll do it separate, but we'll still I've been doing that like the last couple of models. I've been doing that. Hey, let's cover that on a Tuesday night because what else we're going to do on a Tuesday night? So we'll probably that night we'll cover 27 F-150 in 2 weeks. So
he says, for reasons I assume Tim knows, but I shall not utter here. You don't have to say, but
I have a certain interest in a 2.7 engine for reasons I assume Tim knows.
You don't have to say, but I want deets later. I'm nosy. All right, sorry, joined late, but once a 27 Lariat Super Duty Super Crew trimmer package was ordered in June, how long once scheduled can I anticipate completion?
Okay, so it was ordered in June. The biggest kicker is when did it get scheduled? How long once scheduled can I anticipate completion? So I would encourage you to go back because we did kind of talk about timeline on that, but real quickly and easily is if you were to get scheduled this week, it'll be right now. Super Duty is actually scheduling for August build dates, but typically August, September. So usually when something gets scheduled and gets a VIN number, it's for 2 months out. And then it gets built, and then about a month. So I usually say about 3 months from the time that if you order the right time of the month, because like, let's say now on Super Duty is different because they schedule Super Duty every week and they split your allocations out. But all the other models, if you don't get that order in right before when they start doing retail scheduling, and then those 2 weeks, about the 2 weeks they scheduled, then you're probably waiting about 2 to 3 weeks before you can get scheduled for production date. But on Super Duty, it's a little different. You put an order in, they always withhold a couple allocations each week. So dealers, they do that because like on F-150 and Super Duty, it's a lot of commercial buyers that don't have fleet numbers. So they have to order retail. And so a lot of times they like to make sure that dealer has an availability for an F-150 to get scheduled every week in a Super Duty. So to be honest, if you were to order one, then you probably could get scheduled within a week or two for a August or September production date.
Yeah. So this is the last question I have pertaining to our topic. But if you have any more, go ahead, drop them in because I have a couple more like random questions for like the Maverick meetup and tracking and things like that. So if you have more questions, drop them in. But is it true that the max tow package on F-150 comes with a larger rear rotors or brakes?
Well, I can't remember, so I'm going to Google it. Because I can't remember what the upgrades are to go to the max tow axle. It's a max tow axle is what it is. And so we're just going to Google it here.
Google's my friend. But I get it. Sometimes if you Google something, you don't know if you're getting accurate information. Whereas, like, we're looking at this information day in, day out. We can assess what would be accurate.
So to get the maximum F-150 towing capabilities for that motor, it must be equipped with the max tow axle. But to do that, you have to have the tow haul package. So order the tow haul, get the max tow axle. So like, for instance, the 3.5 EcoBoost with the max tow axle will get you 13,500 pounds of towing capacity. So basically it helps you get the maximum amount of towing. Typically requires, of course, it'll require the electronic locking gear ratio like it mentions here. And it says heavy duty axle. So it features a heavy duty, fully floating axle, the 9.75 inch or the 9.75 heavy duty, with the larger bearings and hub assemblies to handle massive loads. So about braking your vehicle, right? You have a big load back there. You not only take off, but you got to stop it, right? So it does give you, looks like upgraded braking, as it mentions here, included larger rear disc brakes for increased stopping power. Upgraded hardware featuring a stiffer rear stabilizer bar in on certain trims, an upgraded parking brake, and heavy-duty leaf springs. So there you go. So that is according to some of the people on the F-150 forum, it looks like, is what they pulled that from. So, so there you go.
Yep.
So it does get you, like I said, upgraded, heavier duty axle, better braking, upgraded braking, right, and stiffer rear stabilizer bar, right? So,
Okay.
So really, it's, again, giving you the max amount of towing capacity for that particular engine. So whether it be the 3.5 that gets 13.5, or I think the 5.0 is 10,000 pounds, maybe 10.5, 11.5. I can't remember. Again, I don't remember, but that's out there. So yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't always trust AI, but if
No.
it has a link provided with it that I got it from, then I feel more confident.
You know, I haven't realized until recently how English prepared me for recognizing whether the AI prompts and responses are real. Because they teach you need to look for a documented source that is legit. You need to look for this, look for this, look for this. Now I use those tools to check to see if it's real or not. You know?
Yeah.
Okay. So we do have another question before I head into our,
because if you actually Google whether or not the 60th anniversary is limited to a certain number, it actually, Google, according to AI, it actually says it's limited to 1966, and that's actually not true.
It's not.
So AI is not 100% accurate.
That's where, if you call in and ask the question, we can assess the Google answers and go,
because the ordering system tells you it's 4% production.
Yeah.
So if you figure 4% of, let's say they produce 7,500, 4% of that each month, that equates to more or less than 1966. It might even be better than that.
Right? All right. Luke, I have no idea. What's that middle part? I don't know. Luke, hi. New to dealership lingo, I was struggling to understand the scheduling freeze for Mavericks in early July. My order was June 29th. Did I beat some kind of window, or am I still waiting till September?
There was no scheduling freeze. So there was where you could not get a certain configuration that they no longer was able to do. So they did, what was it, XL? It was like EcoBoost all-wheel drive on Lariat or something, no longer available or something for retail orders. Remember that? And then like XL, I think XL, a certain configuration is no longer available for retail order. That was the only thing they did. So they called that a job 2 or job 3, I think, at that time. But there should have been no reason why you couldn't have gotten scheduled. So I'd love to know your order type and what's on your order. Now, keep in mind, too many dealer installed options can affect your vehicle from getting scheduled if you have a dealer that has allocations and limited allocations. Because if you have a dealer that has, let's say they only get a couple allocations and they have more than that for orders, then that can affect it to not get scheduled if you have a bunch of DIOs on the order. So, I'm a big fan that here's my take on, I'm gonna go a little soapbox here on dealer installed options. They're great. They're great if it's an option, if that's something that you can't install yourself. So what a dealer installed option typically is like they will like basically charge you for the part, but not the install in a sense. So what happens is, like, if you want like a tonneau cover, it's a dealer installed optional tonneau cover. What they'll do is Ford Performance or Ford Parts will ship the part to your dealer. The dealership installs it and is not allowed to charge you for the install because it's already figured in. So that's where people can actually save money, or if they don't feel like they can do it themselves. And so I always say only order dealer installed options that it's not something you can't do yourself. Floor liners, something like that, don't put those on your order. But if it's something that you don't feel comfortable doing, like illuminated Ford logo badge, right? Put it on your order, stuff like that. But also try to limit limit those, how many DIOs you have. We had a customer, I always used him as an example years ago on a Maverick. He had like 5 dealer installed options on his order. And we're like, I said, I think that's causing it from not getting scheduled. Let's try to take one off. So we took one off, one of the things that we could do in-house. And then we tried it. He didn't get scheduled for another couple of weeks. So then we took a couple more. Finally, we got it down to 2 DIOs and they got scheduled. So because that's the other thing is what has to happen too is when they schedule it, that availability of that part has to also be an availability when they think it's going to be in that window of getting scheduled and getting built. So it's all about part availability because these are assembly plants. They're not making a lot of the parts themselves. They are getting them from other suppliers.
Yeah.
So they are limited on how many. That's why production, let's say Platinum, for instance, is their capacity is 4 or 5% on an F-150. That's because there's something on that Platinum that is there's something on there that's specifically high end, whether it be the 8 heads-up display, or it's those leather seats, or it could be the massaging seat, that they only have so many available from the part distributor to be able to make them. And that's why the Platinum is limited to just that many that they make.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's where it kind of comes down to. So eliminating that. And so that the more basic you can make your order, the better off you are. But colors aren't a big deal. Any color is not a constraint, but I would eliminate some of those. So you should have gotten scheduled by now. You said they put the order in June, and now we're talking, well, I guess that was only a month ago.
Yeah.
So you probably can get scheduled this week. I mean, now thinking it through, I'm like, wait a minute, it's only July.
Yeah.
So and here's the deal is sometimes it can seem like a long time, but like for Ford, like for this week, this is a big week for Mavericks getting scheduled. So getting that order in. So like, let's say let's say your dealership has 10 allocations and they have like 10 retail orders, right? They're going to schedule them all this week, all 10 of them. They'll have no allocations left for the next 3 weeks until they get the next set of allocations the next month. Well, if you barely missed that window in June when you ordered, that's probably why it hasn't scheduled yet. So this is to be a big week. So good luck to you. Hopefully you get scheduled this week. And right. And what we're saying is meaningless at this point, because sometimes it's just all about timing. It really is
having extra options. Like we had that one customer that had the splash guards that put them on because we knew that wouldn't schedule with the splash guards and all these other other options. As soon as we took them off, they scheduled.
Yeah, because we actually had someone that said, okay, I want my order in, but I don't want it to schedule yet because of some reason they didn't want it to come in.
Oh, it was during when we were we had 500 Maverick orders. So getting your order in mattered because it was then dated. So then it would go by, there's a whole
configuration first,
configuration,
and then priority code,
then date.
Yep.
So looking at, he wanted it in so that way as soon as he was ready for it, they could do it.
And we actually were able to almost schedule right on the pace. So I said, there's like, well, I don't want it scheduled yet. I says, well, let's put a tonneau cover on it because tonneau cover is 1% capacity. I can almost guarantee we put a tonneau cover. I think it was tonneau cover and splash guards both. So let's put these 2 things on there. They're 1% production. There's no way they're going to have them both at the same time, and it won't schedule. And sure enough, it did not schedule. And said, okay, I'm ready. So I was like, well, let's take them off. Took them off. It got scheduled next month. It's like, so sometimes, because we'll see that in the forum. Sometimes I'll see in there where some people are like, it's been like 3 weeks, and other people are like, I ordered and got scheduled the same week. Well, that's because you happen to order the week that was the first week for scheduling for that month.
Yeah.
So, and what a lot of people don't realize is, I know this is the 14th and the 16th is this week, but this is actually the first week for July's allocations to start up. And because what happens is the dealers, they do their sales to the end of the month. And then right around the first of the month is when we do our wholesale call with Ford. And that's where because they basically, they pull your numbers on the 20th of the month. They have to process everything of how many you sold, figure out how many's coming in, all this other stuff. And so on the first of the month, they look at the 20th, they look at your sales to date, right? Year to date sales and everything else. But then on the first, they look at what your inventory is. How much inventory do you have? And then they decide, that's when they decide how many allocations they're going to give you. So then the dealer usually they got to go through all the dealers to get their all figured out. And then that way people got any supplements are available, then they can distribute them to dealers and everything. So that usually does take about a week to 10 days. And then OTD has to happen. And that usually happens the second week of the month. So that's what happened last week. And so this was the first week of actually using July's allocations for the very first time was on today. Now, next month, it could be the 10th or the 11th or 12th. But typically it is like the, if Monday is within the month, the new month, then it's probably the second Thursday. That's usually what'll happen. So in this case, where we didn't have a full one, and 4th of July week, that nothing was happening. So they were all closed that week. So Ford closed down. They worked Monday and they closed down the rest of the week. So they weren't going to do any scheduling. So really, in a sense, last week was the first week for July for them. So that's why the schedule ended up being the third Thursday, right? So it's kind of hard to figure that out, but that's kind of how that works. But
I have an order for an F-150 XLT Super Crew.
That's probably 5.0.
5.0, 6.5 foot bed, 157-inch wheelbase under the employee pricing campaign. Would my dealer be able to change it to a Lariat non-max tow with employee pricing?
No, because like we said, if you change the body code, that negates your order date. So your receipt date, when you ordered that, if it was within May and June when employee pricing was going on, then that would basically got the receipt date that it needed for the employee pricing. At this point, if you switch from XLT to Lariat trim, it now is a different body code and it will change your receipt date. So your dealer will be able to make that change, and you can make that change, but then it changes your receipt date into July, which is not employee pricing. So you would lose that locked in employee pricing order date. So if you do that, so.
Yeah. All right. Had a friend place an order 3/6. Delivery date was 5/29. For some reason, he changed his mind on the vehicle, but now wants to go in and make a deal. Will he get his original price locked in on 3/6?
Okay.
So
place an order 3/6, which you should get price protected to 3/6. The delivery date was 5/29. Delivery date.
That was May.
Okay. So then he took delivery already.
No. He turned it down.
Turned it down, but it's still available.
If it's still available.
Okay. So because he ordered it under his name for the 3/6, technically, if his dealer wants to, it's up to the dealer, because at this point, it's been a month and a half, right? They don't have to.
Yeah.
Because he turned it down, evidently. So they wouldn't have to if they don't want to. But technically, they could, as long as they title in the same name that they ordered it in, they should be able to go back and get those incentives on the vehicle.
Yeah.
Technically, they should. Now, whether the dealer wants to, that's all up to them.
Whether or not they honor your deal or your deposit, things like that, that's all up to them on what they want to do.
Otherwise, they could use whatever the price they want to today. So.
Yeah. All right. Ford sent me an email about ordering items for the Maverick. There's a radio transmitter keyless entry. Is this the same one that is a DIO, or it's the one that they add in now?
About ordering items for the Maverick. There's a radio transmitter keyless entry. That's probably, are you talking about keyless entry keypad?
Yes.
Then that would be the stick-on one that goes on the door. So that's what that is.
Okay. You think it's a good chance that it was the same
as from the factory? For the Maverick, I think it's the same one. Now, so there are two different keypads.
Because Rod said Ford was having trouble with it and it was deleted from his original order. He got his order during that time when Ford was having trouble with the keypads. They weren't coding correctly. So he didn't get it. Ridgeview got a refund because we couldn't get his to work and he needed to head out. So it's during that time frame that they both took delivery and they didn't get their keypads.
They couldn't get their keypads. So yeah, that would be the same one probably. So this is a keypad that sticks on. Yeah. Because some of them, for a while there, it was integrated into the keypad, and then they took it away. Remember? And then they said, "Oh, people got upset," so then they brought it back. But yeah, a lot of them ordered it, and then they wanted the keypad entry. Yeah, it is that same one.
Yeah. All right. Is Ford good about Constellation private cash if orders go clean balance out? If I poison pill and don't remove the max tow haul, will my order not be canceled until the last 2026 order?
And then you're hoping to get a private offer. They
don't do private offers anymore.
They're not going to do a private offer.
I
know they're having a part issue, and I could sit here and say no, and then they could say anybody with a tow haul is getting a private offer. It is possible. It could happen, but I don't. The years that I've been doing it, I don't see it happening.
Based on the past previous years where they have had constraints on certain parts or certain vehicles, like, what's his name? Henry wanted to purchase a Super Duty. He didn't get it in that model year. It had to roll over to the next one. And that wasn't on us. That was on Ford because they couldn't produce. Was it the high output engine?
Well, the high output, and back then Platinum was.
Yeah, so he couldn't get his vehicle because of the constraints. But Ford didn't give him a private offer because they're like, well, it's just how the cookie crumbles. It's, we can't fulfill everything.
A lot of times what Ford will do is they'll blame the dealer. You took more orders than you should have, type of thing. You know how many allocations, but we don't. Actually, allocations are month to month. We actually don't know.
They aren't specifically on each trim level, each item, each part. They don't tell us exactly what we have allocations for each thing.
Yeah, because that's what we struggled with, was getting like King Ranches and Platinum scheduled for production dates. That's where we struggled. So
yeah.
Hope that lid was on.
It was. My fireball just shut off. Let's see. All right. So those were my scheduling questions. So if you have more, drop them in there. But for now, let's move on to our random questions. Okay. So we're going to start off with Alan is bringing walkie-talkies. Does your radio work with walkie-talkies?
Yeah, if they have different channels, like 20 up to 20, whatever it is. Yeah.
Okay.
They typically will.
Alan's bringing 4 with him.
Okay, that's good.
So the more walkie-talkies, the better.
Yep.
Because while we're driving, we can chat with using those, and we can keep up to date on what's going on. All right,
Steve, I know we'll get to you. We're going to have another question first, but give me your order number. If you know your order number, I can actually look it up right now.
All right.
And I'll show customers how quickly we can get an order looked up and show them the tracking.
Who can I call for the tracking update? Your sales associate. Yeah. So he's asking about shipped. It used to be like when we had a different tracking system, we could get you the rail card number. You could go to the rail site and you could track it.
They don't really do that anyway.
They don't want to do that anymore. We have a new system. We're going to show it to you. But your dealer can super easily just track it for you. Well, maybe not your salesman, but he can go ask the manager. And this is how you do it. So
it just might be easier just to ask me.
If your order's with us, right? We can't look up.
We can't look up anybody else's. Yeah. Steve has an order with us, so I'm able to look up his order, which I'm getting into VinView right now.
So why don't I get into that while you're searching?
Well, if I have an order number, I need an order number
Steve,
first.
We need your order number. But while we're waiting for that and going through it, dealers cannot see other dealers' orders. Each dealer's order bank is theirs. We cannot see Olathe Ford's. We cannot see. They cannot see ours.
You have to be the delivering dealer. If it's a courtesy transport, like anybody that has a courtesy transport, we could see theirs, but we cannot otherwise. Let's say you order another dealer, but they're having a drop shipped here, then we could see those. Otherwise, it's just only our orders.
Yes. So there's not like an inner dealership organization going on where we can see all the other orders.
But I will say this tracker is so much better than what we have, than what we've had before, because this actually I can see like where I can see before you could see it tracking and you had to hit certain depots before you could track it. This and I can actually see it like here's where it was at this time. It'll update it more frequently.
Here, I wonder if
we have an order number.
Not yet, but I'm going to see if I can get into our
I got it.
CRM.
No. I track every order, or I pull every order. So let's just go into orders for Bronco. And we'll look these up because I usually keep a Google Doc of this. So here is his order number is, it's with Burgundy. So
Oh, I
BO1
like burgundy.
BO1B. So that makes us easy. BO1B. So I can look up all BO1Bs. And she only has 2 in here, and one of them is for a Bronco. And currently that is at Kansas City. So as of 8:11 a.m. this morning, it arrived. It is currently at Kansas City and is no longer on a rail. It is actually on the ground. So it is now off of the rail. So
at this point,
right now it's saying ETA between 7:20 and 7:26. So there's usually a gap there. So it could be here, next week.
Yeah.
So there you go. Pretty cool.
Yes.
And it'll actually say it's at Birmingham, Missouri, which is a suburb of Kansas City.
Yes.
So it is at gate 6P. So
woohoo!
There you go.
All right. So we have some questions about the Maverick meetup.
Okay.
His Moondoggy hasn't joined us in a minute. He's curious.
Okay.
So the drive that we are going on, do you know our route?
Yeah, I think pretty much we're just gonna get off the main highway, but we're gonna take Old 81.
Take Old 9
from here to Lindsborg. So it'll go under I-70 or I-135. It'll go under there.
So that's about a 15-minute drive.
15-20 minute drive.
15-20 minute drive to Lindsborg.
Mm-hmm. Go to the Old Town Museum, Old Mill
Museum, which has a lot of Lindsborg history, along with Kansas history. I looked up a review about it. Someone said it took them 30 minutes to an hour to get through it with all the information that they were reading. And then across the street, and then there's a couple of other things over there. Across the street, there's Old Town Lindsborg, where they have the maypole, and they have the city building, and they have the schoolhouse. They have like all the little buildings with the storefronts up and everything. So we can go look at that. And then downtown, there's lots of shopping and cute little shops down there. And then there's restaurants. So we're going to take you to Lindsborg. It's Little Sweden of America, as they call it. And they take a lot of pride in their city. They take a lot of pride in their town, and really make sure that it's looking well. It's fun to go and see things there. And they take their heritage very seriously. So it should be a lot of fun to go see that for a 15 to 20 minute drive to get there.
And there's also a little museum there. And then for people that want to, you can also go up to Coronado Heights, which isn't far from there. We decided not to because last year it was raining. If it doesn't rain on us and it's not too bad, then we can go up there as well.
Yeah.
So
there is the Sanson Garden Museum as well. The Sanson was a artist who I think he taught at Bethany, but he was a famous artist that created this gallery there. So we have Bethany College in Lindsborg. It's a good art school, and so they have a really good art museum there as well.
Yep.
So that will be a lot of fun. That's 15 to 20 minutes of driving to get there, and then a lot of walking and moving. And then that night, to get to the drive-in, it's 35 minutes to 40 minutes. 45 minutes. And we'll meet. We're going to have to change our meeting spot.
At the hotel?
They have all those shipping containers.
Oh, do they now?
Yeah. So I'm going to call her tomorrow and see if there's going to still be space over there that we could meet. If anything, I think we could still line up on the street over there. Since we've advertised meeting there, it would just be easier.
Yeah.
But we're going to meet there. We'll drive out to the drive-in, park, hang out. The movie won't start for about 2 hours from the time that we get there.
8:30, 8:45.
8:30, 8:45. Yeah. So it won't start for about an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Nice drive-in area though.
It's gorgeous.
Where you can park the cars right there in front of the grass and the screens behind it with some grass in front of it, and then you get so bring a chair to sit in, to relax in, to watch a movie in, or put your tailgate down on it. If you got a Maverick, bring something comfy to put down on that tailgate, blanket, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And hang out and watch a movie. And
but we can sit in the green, like we can take our chairs, and before the movie starts, we can take our chairs if we have enough spots up front and gather and sit in a circle and just chat for those 2 hours and hang out.
Yeah, because it's pretty easy for people that can see right over you because it's like the screen's like up kind of. So it's real easy to see over it. And there's plenty of parking behind too and a nice little concession. And it's really nice little cool drive-in. Again, not a lot of drive-ins in the United States anymore. And they have a really nice one and just got a new projector and everything. And
they just got a new owner, what, year ago?
Yeah.
And then the projector broke down and they were for her first season, they were out of commission.
So it's funny is that there were some people that was like, shame on you. You guys have been in business for 60 some years. I'm like, no, they were in business for a year. Because
technically, yeah. No, technically she took possession of it and was only in. So no, her first season she did run it. So this is her third year running it. But her first year she ran it. The second year, the windstorm. Oh.
I don't know.
There was a huge windstorm. Projector went down. Like it was a whole thing. They've had to do a lot of renovations to it.
Like the bathrooms are clean. They're like new.
They're brand new.
Like all new fixtures and everything. I mean, so
the concessions area is all brand new tiles. They've put in a new counter. Like everything is spick and span and clean. And
I mean, come on now. The owners own a Heritage Edition Bronco.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So she was. I told her where we were, and she's like, "So I actually own a ruby red Heritage Bronco," and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's so pretty."
Yep, I know which one that was because they bought it from us. But it's funny because when we got there, you can see where it's parked.
She parks it right there.
I was like, "Lucky Bronco." So anyway, she's like, "Oh, it's pretty basic." I'm like, "Not that basic."
No, it's what I want.
You can get more basic. Trust me.
So, but she's super friendly, super sweet. When we were there for the Minions, they had face painting. So
it'll be fun.
It will be a lot of fun.
And then the Saturday is 9 to 11 at the dealership, show and shine for the Maverick. So if you don't have a Maverick, come on. I mean, go to the drive-in, go to the drive with us. Enjoy a great Friday.
And then hang out with the Maverick people.
Come hang out with the Maverick people, and then Mavericks will get judged. I mean, we have 4 celebrities that will be picking a Maverick of their choice out. And then there's prizes. We have raffle tickets. So we'll have you basically, if you bring your vehicle, you get 3 raffle tickets included. Put them in to the whatever you want to try to win. And then if you would like more, then you can purchase more raffle tickets. But I will not have like any kind of cash box. So it'll have to be.
Oh, I was planning to have one.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, it'll probably be cash because we don't have any kind of card reader or anything. So we're not fancy or anything.
So cash, if you would like to purchase more, we can certainly.
And then more tickets, you could purchase more tickets put in. And the money would just go to recouping some of the costs because we've had to pay for the awards. A lot of the prizes were given to us, which was great. But we've also had some other costs incurred into it as well. So if you, that's what that would go to.
Now for the drive-in, do they have speakers or do we have to use our truck radios? They have speakers that are actually pretty powerful. The farther back you go, the more you'll want to
have your radio.
Although I think I saw speakers. They mounted some around the shop. So I think they've added more speakers.
We were in the grass area and there's 2 big speakers in the front and we didn't have to have our car on or anything.
But if your car does have to be on, I mean, we have 2 Maverick experts here. I think we can figure out how to help you. But if
you park if we all go together and we park along the grass, you will not need a speaker.
No,
I guarantee you, because we were there and we were on the very far end and you could hear easily. Some people were doing is taking those external radios.
Yes.
And they were connecting because it's a radio station.
Yeah.
So they connected to that. So if you have like an external radio or something like that, you could take it and you'd be able to hear it, put it in the back of your truck.
Or if you have like a speaker, a Bluetooth speaker, and you download the app on your phone to hear the radio stations, you can play it on your Bluetooth speaker.
That's a pretty cool idea. I didn't realize that. We do have a speaker. Got a nice one in the picture building.
So do I. I have a couple.
Actually, I have one in my camper I've never used.
I have one right over there on my desk.
I should get the one out of my camper.
Oh, yeah.
I also have a Roush one.
Yeah.
Somewhere around here. Yeah. Didn't know that.
So,
because you connect it to your phone.
But if you do turn on your truck, they do. If something happens, they do have a jump box. They have a way to jump vehicles if something happens.
Oh, the Expedition. I won't have a job. Well, I'll bring the one I have, my little battery powered one. I got a video coming up. My Ford Video
I
Guide
got
channel.
one too.
Well, I have this thing from the Ford Video Guide channel that I'm going to do. So I've been wanting to be able to power my cooler, my refrigerator without taking it out of my Bronco overnight. Right. We've talked about this. So I looked at getting the big, power bank that some people pay, $500-$600 for and everything else. And I was about ready to purchase one. I said, yeah, I'm going to wait. Talk to Brian. If you have like a DeWalt, like if you guys have like a Milwaukee or a DeWalt, like powered cordless drill that has a little battery pack that you plug into it, you guys know what I'm talking about. If you have one of those, you can buy an inverter off of Amazon. Go to my storefront. I have a link right on my storefront. You can go.
So wait, you got this because you have all your electric mowers and whatnot, and you have those batteries?
So you can. Well, no, they're not the same batteries. So these are the screwdriver. These are the the cordless.
Yes.
Lebo's got one. You guys got one. Anyway, that battery, well, you can get an inverter, and they're like $20, $25 at the most. And you just buy the inverter, you plug it into that battery, and now you can, like mine has an outlet, 2 USB ports. So I can power my cooler. So I'm going to do a video one of these weekends where I'm going to actually like plug it in at night, and I want to see what it's like in the morning, the next morning, and see if it still has battery.
I might need to borrow that.
So we'll have to try
vacation.
that. So I got 2 of those. The other thing that's cool about that is you can buy a jumper cables that also comes into that battery. And so as long as you have one of those batteries, you have the jumper cables that will jump your vehicle too. So I'm going to test both of those out because I did buy the jumper cable attachment to it too. I
already have one of the little portable batteries that can jump a vehicle too. That can also charge my phone.
Yeah. What I found though is sometimes the little thing that I have to jump my car isn't powerful enough. So I'm really curious if the one with the DeWalt will be powerful enough to jump my Bronco. Now, of course, it's kind of hard. If the battery's not dead, then I can't really test it out, can I?
I mean, I guess I do have a C-Max, little hybrid C-Max. Doesn't need much.
Yeah, I don't know. It really depends on how much juice your car needs, really, to be honest. Like some of those just, I don't feel like are strong enough.
So,
but
all right. We haven't gotten another question in a minute.
Okay.
So, all righty.
All right. Well, tomorrow, Built Wild Wednesday, we'll be doing a video on the Bronco Sport because we have 3 Badlands editions that just showed up. They're standard Badlands. We're going to talk about how they're equipped now because they have changed what standard equipment on a Badlands versus what it was at the beginning of the year. So we have one of those. It's the new updated Job 2 versions. And then we're going to talk about it because I think we're the only dealership that's got those $3,000 off right now. And $1,500 of that is rebates. The other $1,500 is our discounts. I don't think anybody's discounting a Bronco Sport $1,500 off of MSRP. So we're going to, because we have sold no Bronco Sports. So hopefully that will help us. But we also haven't had any Bronco Sports to sell until last week. So we have 3 Badlands and an Outer Banks and one that just came out of FCTP. So that is now available. So now we have like 5 or 6 in stock. But we're going to talk about the Bronco Sport Badlands because I haven't been doing any videos really on Bronco Sport. So we're going to talk about that Badlands edition and do a walk around on it. So
I think we answered this 27 F-150 order guide date.
28th.
Yep.
So we will actually talk about it on a live stream that night. So we'll kind of cover a little bit. We'll glaze over the highlights from what the order guide says, but I will do a deep dive on it after that because they always have things that aren't listed on that major changes, but we'll cover the major changes, whatever I'm able to cover. Cause and he may not be aware of this cause if he's not one of our members, but he might be aware of this, but I will compare last year's order guide to this year's page by page, line by line. So I look and see on Excel, what is really different because Ford will put a major changes page and that's, they say is what's changed. But I always find things that they don't want to put on there because it's something they removed from a trim level and they don't want to highlight things they've lost, only things they've gained. So I will actually be able to do that. And so my deep dive will actually tell you everything that's changed. And that will probably go live like Wednesday or Thursday. So, because that'll take me a little while to go through everything on that. So, and then we'll actually, at that point, after the week after that, the first week of August, we'll be going through each trim level on of the F-150, talking about what's standard and what's optional on each trim level, like we do on all our models. So looking forward to having that to do. So those weeks we may not have a Built Wild Wednesday or a Maverick Monday, because we'll be like that week right after that. We'll start it so that I can try to finish out the next week and then get back to the video series. So anyway, all right, that's that. So things coming up, and then shortly behind that, because we got to get F-150 done by that week, because the week after that is Maverick and Bronco Sport. So that'll take us a couple weeks to go through those. So
Yeah,
we'll have to ask, what's more important, Bronco Sport or Maverick? Because I got to pick one and then go through the other. Usually what I do is I do what's changed between them back to back, and then I start going through them one at a time. Or I've done before is if I've had two of them going, I'll do one and then the other, one and then the other.
That's hard though.
It is hard to go back and forth. So
it's
a lot easier to just.
mean, like, it's hard to choose which one, because Maverick's important and Bronco Sport's important. Like,
yeah.
Personally, preference?
Neither one of them really will have a significant major change on either of those two. F-150 either, to be honest.
Although personally,
this was supposed to be a redesign for the F-150 this year, but they put it back a year. So this is not a new redesign year. Otherwise, we'd have to see some spy photos have been going around, but we haven't. So,
yep. Next sign in, Roderick will be in Dallas. Ridgeview will be here. Allen will be in Nebraska.
Well, Ridgeview, not next week.
Yeah.
Next week's not our meetup, is it? It is next week.
It is next week. You're making me doubt what I'm talking about.
All right.
Yeah. Next Tuesday, we will have Ridgeview in the house, hopefully.
I don't know if he wants to be on film or not, though.
He likes to sit in the room.
Yeah.
Hang out with us. We will have.
He likes to hear things in delayed. Hear us, and then 10 seconds later, hear recording. Because it is on the 10-second delay.
He has stated that he doesn't really listen to what we're talking about. He is in the chat handling all of that, and then he'll go back and listen to us later.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we will have Ridgeview here. We'll have someone in Dallas. Arquipido will be in Dallas, and we will have Allen in Nebraska, along with several others traveling in. Jenna will be
Ragnar Khan asked about Job 3 changes. Yeah, I did a video, I think, on a Built Wild Wednesday.
Oh, sorry, I missed that.
And he just put it in.
Oh.
Like, it's like jumping pretty quick. Yeah, I'm not sure. Man, I
don't mind if you just tell me what episode to watch.
I can't. It was a Built Wild Wednesday. I'm almost positive. But I don't know how long ago that was. I feel like that was in June. Mm-hmm. Well, that wouldn't have been that long ago.
Lexington, Nebraska.
I don't know.
So we will have people all over the country starting to make their way here or almost here next Tuesday. So it'll be fun.
Yeah. All right.
It's a party. That's who we needed to come hang out with us. Savannah Bananas umpire. Throw a big party with him.
Right. Let's see the Built Wild. Don't need you to play. Where's the playlist over here? I don't know. When did I? Nightshade, East Broncos. Big changes. So probably would be this one right here.
Episode.
See if I can share that. Oh, nope. That's Broncos Sport Job 2. Oh, but I need that. So I need to remember that. Because that's the video I need to watch before tomorrow's video. So that I can do my homework.
Factory Fresh Broncos just dropped. New Heritage Edition colors sounds promising. Shall start there. I want to see Ridgeview and the new intro view. So I will say Niles will not be able to join us this year.
Yep.
They accidentally planned vacation for that week. So he will not be back until Tuesday of the next week. So we will be getting pictures. I think we have Jeff on picture duty, getting pictures of our member stuff going on and having everything go on so we can make a new intro video, because we do want to do that each year, kind of just have something new each year, show the growth. Oh no, that was a lot walk episode.
You know what?
Swing and a miss.
No, I don't think I did. I think I did the job 3 changes in a live stream.
Chuck, if you're here Tuesday, you'll probably get to see him. I don't think he leaves till Wednesday.
So sorry, Brandon. I believe that we covered it on a live stream. So I'd have to find that. I should be right. I need to be writing articles on this stuff so you can just send it to you.
You were.
Yeah.
You can get back into it now that you got all that time.
Here, how about this? Sometimes they will actually list in the order guide those changes. 26 order guides. Bronco. Question is, which one was it? So let's see here. There you go. Job 3 changes. So I know I covered it. Anything built after August 3rd gets software updates. That's that connected services we talked about earlier. Deleted Orange Fury, so it is not available. The graphics were removed from any Oxford White Heritage editions. The dealer installed option body armor protective moldings is no longer a Badlands 4-door option with the 10-speed automatic. And instrument panel lower frames changed from painted to molded. Those are your job 3 changes, it says. I think the big thing was that they were going to make Orange Fury, so they deleted the Orange Fury from extra color and roof options, and then Heritage Edition being available again in white without the graphics, right? Those were the major ones on that. But then thrown in that the instrument panel lower frames changed from painted to molded. But I think there's more to that. Let me go scroll up because I think it's only on the trim level. Nope, all of them, I guess. From painted to molded in. Lower the instrument IP is instrument panel lower frames. Changed from painted to molded in color. I don't know where they're talking about. So I need a picture for it. Anyway, but those are some things. I bet you there's some other things that I actually noticed because I think I did go through everything. So yeah, I did it in a live stream though. That's when I cover, order guide changes. So, but this one came out 6/11, so I would have covered it after that. So it would have been in June on a live stream.
Yep. All right, Moondoggy. I won't let you know if the spoiler changes. No spoiler alerts.
No spoiler. Oh no,
on Mustang or whatever. Just trying to be a little funny. Is Maverick the only hybrid Ford makes at this time?
At this time, yeah, I think it is. No more Escape. F-150. They actually say that. What they used to say that the F-150 hybrid was the number 1 selling hybrid truck, but that's not true. Maverick is. So anyway,
I don't consider. I mean, it's hybrid if you're looking at a full or an F-150 versus the Power Boost.
I think what they say is they're the number 1 selling hybrid full size pickup.
Okay, so if you think about it, if you compare it to a regular F-150, it is the hybrid version. But is it truly a hybrid? Because it gets about the regular gas mileage I would get in an EcoBoost Maverick. I mean, we drove one.
Oh, so it's funny. So today, somebody was talking about that they were driving. They've been driving. They drive home. I won't tell you where they're driving to, but anyway, they drive home and they are getting certain gas mileage, but they always get on the highway going about 80, 84 miles an hour. They're one of those that wants to get there as fast as they can. Well, they've been taking Old 81, which is like 65 is the speed limit. So they've been slowing themselves down. And so they said since they've been traveling that way, their gas mileage has gone up significantly. And I'm like, well, that's because you slow down. Same thing happens in EV. Our range gets better when we slow down because you have less drag. that's stopping it. So I'm like, so
Yeah.
it doesn't only affect, I mean, a lot of people's like, EVs get affected in range. So does your gas vehicles. It really does. It doesn't matter if you drive a gas vehicle or an electric vehicle, that just the power distribution is different. Otherwise, they're both going to be affected by wind and by cold and everything else. Even on a gas vehicle, it gets affected the same way as electric
How
vehicle
you drive
does.
it?
Yeah. So
According to my husband, hybrid is wasted on me. I still get 30 miles per gallon. So, I mean, I think I'm doing pretty good. Oh, wait, member only live stream. Did we move back to YouTube members from Patreon?
So what we do is we do it live on Friday, and then what I do is then I take the link from that and I put it on Patreon. So technically you get it on both. So so what YouTube has done is, regardless if you have something that's a member only content, the thumbnail still shows up on your homepage on YouTube. And so what people were doing was they were trying to click on some of those member only videos, and they were frustrated because they had to then pay for the video or pay for the membership.
Because they thought they would be missing content.
So a lot of people were frustrated because I'm like, oh, I got to pay to watch this video and this and that. So they're getting frustrated. So that's why what we did was we went ahead and took out a lot of our member stuff and moved it over to Patreon in a way of some of the regular stuff. And so our lot walk is done over on Patreon. But what we do on our live stream is so that we can still do it on, we can do it live. We tried doing live streams over on Patreon. It didn't work well at all. It was like, it was not doing well. YouTube has it figured out. But so we decided, you know what, we'll continue to go live. So I usually schedule those like 30 minutes before our 4 o'clock live stream. And so it's available for members on YouTube. So basically any member level is going to get it. So even if you're the 199, then you can watch the member live stream. And then what we do is once we're done, so that it doesn't sit there and somebody later that night clicks on it and then can't watch it and get frustrated, is I go ahead and I change that video from a member video to an unlisted video. So basically, if you have the link, you could watch it, but it's not going to be public, so people aren't going to just click on it and be frustrated they can't watch it. So then I take that link and I put it on my Patreon. So if you're a Patreon member and you're not able to watch it live, you're able to see the recorded version. And I usually have it to where the chat is still active and shows. So that's kind of the process behind it. Because that's why we made the changes to some of the Patreon content going over to Patreon, was that YouTube just made a weird thing, and it's frustrating a lot of people.
Yeah.
So
will Ford have a new minivan like Ram ProMaster City?
Nope. Probably not.
Ford has found its niche, trucks and SUVs.
Yeah. So
and its occasional sports car.
There you go. All right. I think that's all we have for tonight. But yeah, if you're a member, you've signed up to be a member, we'll see you guys Friday at
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock this Friday. And yeah. And then we'll see where Steve's Broncos at. Hopefully, if I remember. You guys can remind me. Anyway, other than that, we'll see you guys next week. Should be going live next week. Have to find out a topic. Struggle with topics. So guys, give me your topics. 2 weeks we'll cover F-150 changes. The week after, who knows? And on that, probably, Maverick meetup or something. And then we'll cover Maverick and Bronco Sport, probably the 2 Tuesdays after that. So anyway, all right. Okay. Well, we will, so that makes sense. Never top of mind. Yep. Anyway, so,
Alrighty.
All right. That's what we have. All right. Well, hope you guys had a good evening, and it sounds like we answered a lot of questions for you guys. So this is like a topic we've covered a lot back when Maverick was kind of out and everything. But we have new people ordering vehicles, so I'm glad we covered again and revisited the topic. So if there's any other topics we've covered in the past that maybe we need to revisit and go over again, let us know. We're always here to kind of give you content that you guys want and that is useful to you in the buying process, a research process of a Ford, or just a Ford vehicle in general. Then we want to cover that for you guys because it's relevant for us to cover if it's relevant for you. So that's what we want to do for you guys. So, all right, that's all we have for tonight. All right, stay positive.
Be kind to one another.
Be kind to yourself.
We'll see you later.